billion in military and humanitarian assistance for Ukraine is now in the Senate.
And I can confidently say every last penny of this aid package will be money much needed and well spent.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate could approve that funding bill later today. Top Republican Mitch McConnell is also urging quick passage.
The down payment on our commitment to keep defending America and global peace in the years to come.
House Democrats abruptly jettisoned more than $15 billion in COVID funding over disagreements on spending offsets.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Senator Schumer is vowing to keep fighting for more COVID funding, arguing it's needed for vaccines, therapeutics, and testing to be better prepared and keep life closer to normal. Inflation hits another 40-year high, up nearly 8% for the year ending in February. Fox's Ginny Cosola.
Before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, economists were hoping for a peak in year-over-year inflation this spring, but high oil prices are now threatening to make inflation a problem for longer.
The new report doesn't include much of the recent jump in gas prices. AAA's national average hitting another new record today, $4.32 a gallon for regular unleaded. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Americans don't trust big media. The source you can trust is Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Millions are watching Newsmax and the Newsmax team with Rob Finnerty, Eric Bowling, John Spicer and Lindsay Keith, Greg Kelly, Steve Field and Rob Schmitt, plus weekends with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Orca and Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch to Newsmax. Try it. You may never go back.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It was in the 50s this afternoon as the clouds take control tonight. A light mix of snow, sleet, freezing drizzle, and plain drizzle. You're not expecting much of anything.
It was like this big.
Friday, it's cold with snow, a little sleet at times. 35 for the high Friday, an inch or less accumulation on Friday. I like that 1 inch number. Clearing skies, windy, and down to 14 Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
When you're here, you're on the leading edge.
Julie's been very patient in St. Louis, listening on the great station 97.1. Hey, Julie.
Hey. Of everything happening.
You and the media have to resist the temptation to just say, oh, nobody's going to report on it. We'll just move on.
Locally and nationally.
Not in a million years, Julie. Are you kidding?
The world, the country, and the community meet here.
Because conservative radio and media.
Other than Deroy,
and it's
probably Tyrus.
I agree.
97.1 FM Talk.
Mark Cox here. Join me and Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. We'll be joined by Annie Frey and Mark Reardon Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Did you know there are innovative financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from losses? Are you concerned how all the market volatility is affecting your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k or company plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Let's start off the new year with a new coat of paint. It's Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the work myself. These are professional painters, and they can help you bring your vision of color to life. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job the more difficult your hiring can be.
Sorry, guys.
And
Hi.
that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like. Or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air. 97.1 FM Talk. Experience the rewind with the Odyssey app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, River Views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank and our NATO allies, and what is at stake at this very moment. What is at stake this very moment are some of the guiding principles around the NATO alliance.
What? Have you ever had the pleasure of listening to an 8th grade presentation?
You stole what I said on Twitter. I was about to say that.
I didn't
Come
see that.
on, you took it out of my mouth. You do the rest of the show, Brad. Give me a break. So I did tweet, so it's on the record before I came into work here. It's when your child takes the stage for the first time and you are up there and you're thinking, oh my God, don't fall. Oh my gosh, say coherent words. Put together a complete sentence. That feeling you have in your gut, samesies with the vice president of the United States who is in Poland trying to stop World War III from happening. I don't know if anyone told her that's what the point is. You took my thunder, dude.
I'm sorry. I didn't see.
Stole it right out of my mouth.
I didn't see the tweet, but I thought that when I heard some of the other audio, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it gets worse. I know this. I've had kids in spelling bees. Man, that is a hard thing to do as a mama, to stand there and watch your kids spell like butter. And you're like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And sometimes they just are like, they're like P, and you're like, no, it's a B. You know this. And then they come, afterwards and they're like, oh my gosh, I was so nervous. You know that they're nervous. You know that they're panicked, and you know that they know how to spell butter. But when they go up there and they stand in front of everybody, there's a lot of pressure. That is the anxiety that as a parent you feel right in that moment. I shouldn't be feeling that about the vice president of the United States. Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. We are very glad that you are spending some of your afternoon with us. Oh, great. Lindsey Graham is coming up on Fox News. I'm really looking forward to that. We'll just stick right here. We're going to talk. We've got a really full show today, and it's not really very Ukraine heavy, which I'm kind of happy about. 12:25, we're going to talk a little bit about something that is very, very important when it comes to the midterms. And it's not just about it's not just about how bad President Biden is doing. People are going to have to really stand up to the task and show up in droves. Listen to Kayleigh McEnany talk about the midterm election.
November is going to be a massive break on a disaster of a presidency where he's hit 33% approval in Quinnipiac. When you look at the Democrat retirements, it tells you all you need to know, 30 Democrat retirements. That's a 30-year high. When you look at Republicans on the generic ballot or generic Republican against a generic Democrat, literally most polls, it's double digits for Republicans and some of the most recent ones I've seen. And the last time you've had that kind of lead for Republicans, we took back 63 seats in the House in 2010, and nothing's over till it's over. You don't want to spike the football too soon, but America's fed up. And unless there's a rapid 180 for this president, it's going to be a big red wave in November. And I don't see how you can have a 180 when you're on the verge of World War III. COVID-19, he's handled it horribly. The economy, we're about to hit stagflation, like low growth and inflation. Very likely because of what's happening, gas prices. I don't see it turning around.
There's like a dozen reasons from Kayleigh McEnany how this is not going to go well for the Democrats in 2022. But here's the question. Have people been actively participating and getting registered to vote, paying attention to who's running in the primaries, and starting to tune in now? It's March. November is the elections. Do you want to know how many days? 243 days until the election. When you put it into that perspective, it's not really that long, which is a fantastic thing if you're, leaning into these elections in order to make sure that we kind of start to get our country back, a little common sense back into how we run things here. It's very, very frustrating for me to look at how this administration is handling the current world situation and know that if Donald Trump were in the office, we'd be talking every day, all day, 24/7 on the news channels about the 25th Amendment. That's all we talk about. We talked about that with President Trump. They had President Trump taking cognitive tests, aptitude tests that were like pre-dementia tests. And, he talked about how he passed them with flying colors. President Biden it's tough to see him. He doesn't have any moments that aren't scripted. The moments that are scripted, he does not deliver well. The message that he's delivering, even amidst the way he delivers it, isn't really the message that the American people are looking for. And when you look at what President Biden has been doing and has been saying over the course of the last 6 months, as prices continue to go up and up and up, he now thinks he has the excuse that's necessary to blame for it.
The decision today is not without cost here at home. Putin's war is already hurting American families at the gas pump. Since Putin began his military buildup on Ukrainian borders, just since then, the price of the gas at the pump in America went up 75 cents. And with this action, it's going to go up further. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
Inflation is accelerating. These are pre-war numbers as well. So many people had thought we'd see a peak in inflation in March, maybe. Well, now we have a war in Russia not captured, a war in Ukraine not captured here. Year over year, 7.9% is the inflation number. That is a 40-year high. Month over month, up 0.8%. That shows that even month to month, inflation is accelerating. It is gas, it is shelter, it is food, groceries, all these things you basically can't live without are rising here. So when you dig into these numbers, you can see just why so many Americans are so sour on the economy on those opinion polls. It's because they're paying more for just about everything. Used cars, look at that, Brianna, up 41% from last year. Gasoline up 38%. And again, these numbers don't capture the big disruption in the economy from Putin's war.
2 words, brace yourself. The other shoe is about to drop. These numbers that have come out showing near 8% inflation, me being in my late mid 30s, I haven't seen these numbers in my lifetime. I haven't experienced this in my lifetime, certainly not in my adult lifetime. And of course, we have very, very good reason to expect that things are going to get very much so worse. This is CBS.
In this morning's Money Watch, how you can save money when gas and food are getting more expensive. We've got new inflation numbers that just came out. They show prices in February were 7.9% higher than the same time last year. That's more than the 40-year record high the U.S. saw in January. Prices are also rising at the pump. Everyone knows that by now. A new record every day. The average price of a gallon of regular gas hit $4.32 overnight. AAA says it's up 59 cents in the past week alone. Drivers in California are paying an average of $5.69 a gallon.
So politicos out there are obsessed with making sure that you understand who's to blame for rising costs on both sides of the aisle. This is not just who I've been kind of perpetually annoyed by, Republicans going, just remember the gas prices were high before Biden is going to tell you that it's because of Vladimir Putin that you're paying so much at the gas tank. Just remember that this is on the administration. People know that. People are aware of that. I don't know if they knew to the extent. I don't know that I knew to the extent how much this was increasing over the course of time that we've had President Biden in office. Every single one of these numbers that have come out in the inflation report today were collected before Russia invaded Ukraine. All of those numbers.
This new inflation report, 7.9%. What does that tell us?
It tells us prices are on the move. This actually, of course, is mostly the period before Russia invaded Ukraine, so we don't even account for that. But just to put a fine point on it, as you said, these are the highest price increases annually since January 1982. Woo. And the food prices also very high. I mean, we always focus on gas, which is up 38% from a year ago. Terrible. Food costs up 7.9%. Food at home up 8.6%. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that's the highest since 1981. And when you go down and you drill down through all these numbers, it sort of feels like everything's going up, and it's only going to get worse.
And it's only going to get worse. These increases that we're seeing right now, 8% inflation, pre-Russian invasion of Ukraine. And folks, this is CBS. This is not the Fox News dunk on Biden hour. This is CBS. Last clip from
and the White House keeps telling us prices are going to come down. They're going to come down. But that was before the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And when the price of gas goes up, the price of everything goes up.
Absolutely. Shipping and transportation as well. I think that we are looking at a period now where we can pretty clearly see that 8 and maybe even 9% inflation is on the horizon, and that things, and again, this is predicated on what happens in Ukraine, but we don't look till the end of the year looking like we get back to more normal inflationary levels.
To the end of the year. Okay. So we're talking the end of 2022 right now is when things get back to normal. I'm curious of the timing of that things could possibly somehow or another get better. We'll see. I said election day was 243 days from now, towards the end of the year where things start to get better. They better get better. If things start to comfortably get better right when the midterm elections happen, it's not going to be enough. People aren't even going to notice that the prices are going down on a broad sense, because listen, it's not just the gas. It's not just the gas pump. It's when you go to the grocery store. It's everywhere you go right now. Goods and services are increasing everywhere. If you are building a home right now, I saw a sheet of plywood was $74.97. What is that? What even is that? It's unbelievable what we're existing in right now. And when she says things are going to get better at the end of the year, if the Russia thing escalates, it's not going to get better by the end of the year. It's only going to get worse. The disaster here is that where the global situation has positioned us to take on oil crisis and energy crisis, where the Biden administration positioned us to absorb some sort of massive global crisis like this, is a terrible, terrible place to be. We started off way, 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 way down. We had a lot of hole to dig ourselves out of before the big bad thing actually happened. Our very own government's policies put us in a position to be in really massive economic trouble on the home front, on the national front, when something like this took place. You know, I've said what I've said in the past about President Trump, but he was a fantastic president when it came to policy. And if we would not have been rocking and rolling with one of the best economies on record in this country, Metric after metric after metric setting positive records. If we would not have been in that position when the pandemic hit, think about where we would be right now. The economy was on fire, and then the world slowed to a standstill. If we would have been behind the 8 ball when that happened, Biden gets elected. He puts in the policies that right now are crippling the country economically. Then Russia invades Ukraine. My gosh. We've got to get people back in office who care about our country, who have an America first mentality, who are focused and determined to make sure that America is the economic strength of the world. And as I said yesterday, who will not sacrifice the country and what she stands for on the altar of the climate change god. We have to stand in front of that. The way to do that is to flood the midterm elections with voters, people who want it changed, people who are looking at what we have right now and they're saying, something's got to give, and it's got to give fast. Well, when we come back, we're going to have Scott Pressler on the show. We've had him on the show multiple times before. He is a friend of the Frey Show. Scott Pressler literally travels the country, goes all over the country, registering people to vote. And now he has a new registration drive that he's encouraging you to participate in across the country here in I think a week or so. He's going to tell you the amazing place where he is registering people to vote now and how you can participate. Scott Pressler on the show here in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
To every seed I'd sown, give it my best and then I left it alone. I hope they're doing all right.
97.1 FM Talk. Uncensored discussion that's free in more ways than one. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
The Closet Factory, 314-961-4300. Your customized storage solution for your home, for your place of business. I think there's a lot of people who have maybe shifted where they do their work, even if it's in a brick and mortar. You might have downsized over the course of time in the last 2 years or so. If you don't have as many employees as you did before, if you kind of rearrange things, have the Closet Factory come in and create that customized storage solution for your particular needs. Your needs are different than mine, are different than the person sitting in the car next to you at the stoplight. You can go to the Closet Factory online, closetfactory.com, and really take in some of the amazing things that they have done. And they are beautiful, beautiful finishes when they're out in the open. If you do like we do, I mean, for our master closet, we could have had it finished with, all the top-notch stuff. We just needed function. So they came in and they did that. There's nothing wrong with either one of those projects. When you are looking for a customized storage solution for your home, for your place of business, your church, your community center, the Closet Factory has it for you. You just got to give them a call. 314-961-4300 online at closetfactory.com.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. As we go into a new year, it is a great time to get started on a new home loan. If you've been thinking about a cash-out refinance to pay off debt or update your home, act now while equity is at an all-time high and interest rates are still at historic lows. Maybe it's the year that you're going to reduce your term or get rid of the dreaded PMI. Perhaps this is the year that you buy a new home. Call me now so you can shop with confidence. When you call, there will be no gimmicks or sales pitch, just straightforward, upfront information on refinancing and home buying options. So call me today, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Yo, come on, move this.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Shake that body. Shake that body.
We're in an economic war with Biden. We can't win this with this economic war with Biden. I'm sorry, with Putin. Maybe with President Biden, too, and I'll explain that comment in a second.
Senator Kennedy with potentially the Freudian slip. He's so smart, I can't tell if he did that on purpose or not. Either way, it works. The country is constantly, every time they have to go out and about and pull their debit card out or some cash out of their wallet to pay for something, they're in sticker shock everywhere they go. And people are waking up to who's making the decisions that are getting us to where we are right now. Why is everything so expensive? If you listen to the administration, they will tell you that it's Putin's war that is causing that. But no, it certainly isn't, because we just got an 8% inflation report, 7.9% inflation report, and all of those numbers, they all come from pre-Russia invasion of Ukraine. And the person, probably the biggest mover and shaker that exists out there right now, making sure that people are ready to vote in the midterms, that's our friend Scott Pressler. He's a grassroots activist. He's been on the show before, and he's back with us again. Scott, you know, it's always great to talk to you here on our show.
Thank you, Annie. I love that you always have the best music right before guests come on.
I picked that for you because you do move this. You make things move and you make things happen. And I mean, it's inspiring. You inspire people all over the country. And for folks who may not know who Scott Pressler is, give me the elevator speech about what motivated you to get to the place where you are right now.
Sure, I'll make it brief. Well, I was inspired by President Obama, and I was angry, not at the president, but I was angry at myself because my inaction in part allowed him to get reelected because I was only a voter, right? I wasn't out knocking on doors and registering voters and being an active participant in our constitutional republic. So I moved to Texas in 2014, helped elect Governor Greg Abbott. I spent 2 years of my life helping to defeat Hillary Clinton. And I've spent the last 5 years of my life traveling the country from coast to coast, registering thousands of new voters and cleaning up our cities across the country. Every city like Baltimore, Houston, Miami, where there's crime and there's debris littering our streets, I've shown conservative action through helping to better our communities by doing something about it. And that is my mission, is stop talking, start doing.
Yeah, that's so important for people right now who are going to the pump and going, my gosh, like I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to go to work right now. And they're starting to ask questions that maybe if apolitical people, we just came out of 4 years of Trump where the policy was great, but the anxiety for the country was pretty high because it was a tenuous moment. And the election, same, very, very tense moment there. And since then, I think people are just kind of calloused and there's a bit of malaise about them. But this administration is not letting people just go through these 4 years going, we'll just wait until the next election. It's got a lot of people upset and angry. And it's my opinion that the country knows whose policies have been put into place that are causing costs to be so high. And they look at the administration and they go, this isn't the guy for this moment in time.
Well, and I have to say this, that tenuous relationship was manufactured from the moment that President Trump set foot and was inaugurated. And, the media, of course, is in Biden's camp. And so you don't feel the same tension, at least in terms of the media. But no, we're feeling the tension when we purchase food at the supermarket, when we pump gas. We're feeling the tension when we turn on our TV. And, while we had 4 years of peace in the Middle East and no wars, we didn't have to move any of our embassies and leave Americans behind in Afghanistan. So you're so correct that everything is being manufactured now. And you mentioned, at the gas pumps, and I want people to know that you may be seeing Scott Pressler at a gas pump near you.
Tell us about this. Tell us about this, because I kind of teased that before we got into this next segment, where you've been traveling the country to register people to vote, but now you are going to gas stations to do it. It's genius.
Well, I can't believe I never thought of it until now. But, I'm in New York right now. I know, bless my heart. And we're seeing $4.55. We're seeing upwards of $5 for a gallon of gas. So literally people are having to make the decision between buying lunch and whether or not to fill up their vehicle. So what we're going to do is on the weekend of March 19th and 20th across Long Island, from Brooklyn to Queens to Nassau to Suffolk, we're going to have an army of volunteers at gas stations across Long Island helping to register people to vote. And here's our slogan. I just thought of it today. Have the Biden blues got you down? Vote red.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Scott, you're in New York and you're talking about gas being $4.55 a gallon. That's what it is in Southern Illinois. I'm not talking Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, that's what it is. I took a picture last night and I put it up on my social media that gas, unleaded gas, which is what most people put in their cars, I think it was $4.57 and diesel $5.35 in southern suburban Illinois. So people in this very blue state, which is right across the river, it's where I live, across the river, the Mississippi River in Illinois. A lot of people listening right now in the blue state, Illinois, are wondering if you're going to put the effort into trying to register Republicans in New York. What about here in the Midwest, flyover country, that blue state of Illinois?
Well, I want people to understand I am focusing my efforts strategically. So I am very focused on Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada. However, I do want you to know that last year in 2021, I visited Illinois 4 times. I went to Rockford. I went to Manuka. And in part because of your collective efforts, Adam Kinzinger is not running for re-election. He will not be a member of Congress in 2023. And so that's why I came to Illinois. But I will be returning to Illinois to anyone who's in the Rockford area in the second week of May. You know what we're going to do? I know that the Democrats, because they understand midterm elections are coming up, that all of a sudden COVID is no longer an issue. So they got rid of the mask mandates. We're going to visit high schools across the Rockford area, and I'm going to set up voter registration tables outside of that schools, and the message is freedom, no mandates, no masks ever again, and we're going to get all of the kids registered to vote. And the message is we're never going to allow what happened in the last 2 years ever to happen again, and you're going to vote.
It's such a great message. It's an important one as well. And, I think to myself, your strategic plan there, because you're traveling the country doing this, is an important and valuable one. but you can't be everywhere all the time. And what you're doing is special, but it's not so special that other folks out there can't follow your lead and start doing that same type of volunteer effort in their own locale. And if you're willing to spend the time in blue state New York, there are people who are listening right now who should pick up the mantle in, the city of St. Louis County, which is a blue area of Missouri. And on the Illinois side, there are a lot of places that traditionally, I think, get written off like, oh, it's just always going to be the way it is. This year is a year of opportunity for change.
I firmly believe that. And I say baloney. In 2014, we turned Illinois red, baby. We can do it again. Now, I know a lot of people are leaving the state of Illinois because it's been mismanaged and because of the high crime and high taxes. But I promise you, there is hope for Illinois. And recently, I know it's not St. Louis, but I was recently in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to anybody that's in Kansas City. Please join the Jackson County GOP. I met with the chairman, David Leitner, and I want you guys to know that they are on fire. And just know that all of these districts that we may have thought were unwinnable in the past, I'm telling you, with Joe Biden being underwater by, plus 17 points, that means that even like a D+6 district, which means it's 6 points more Democratic, we can win that in a red wave year. So you at home, the mom that's listening, who is angry that schools were shut down, the business owner who's angry that your business may have closed, the student who is fed up from having to wear masks for 2 years. This is your time that I'm asking you. If you've ever felt called to serve, now is that moment. Please get registered to vote at your current address. Moms and dads, please run for school board. And more importantly, make a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 8th. 2022.
Yep, 243 days away right now. Scott, the other thing that I've watched carefully as you do traverse the country is you're not just focused on like who's going to beat Biden in 2024 as if he's going to run again. You've helped with council elections in Florida and you've helped flip very, very blue areas on local levels. I mean, you talked about school board. People need to keep their eye and their focus squarely placed on local government, especially in a midterm year, as much as they've ever paid any attention to a presidential election.
Well, and even I want to give some encouragement because some people, understandably, I was soul crushed after the 2020 election. I know many of you listening feel the exact same way, but I want to give you some hope in knowing that we need to overwhelm the system like we did in Virginia, electing Governor Glenn Youngkin, which many people thought couldn't happen. But let's take it down to the local level for a second. Pinellas County, Florida, which voted for Joe Biden in 2020, which is a bellwether district, we have flipped that district since 2020 from blue to red. And get this, they're having municipal elections on the 15th. I'm a nerd, so I follow this. And so I've been tracking the vote by mail. Get this. In Pinellas County, which voted for Joe Biden, which is now red, and vote by mail, Republicans are outvoting the Democrats by over 1,000 more mail-in ballots than the Democrats. So we're using their own system against them to win.
And you were at the very grassroots of it all. People need to be following you on Twitter at Scott Pressler, 1 S in Presler. You're on Facebook as well. We've had compliments coming in on our Annie Frey YouTube channel right now of people who have heard you on the show in the past, reached out to you, and you're just like you're very attentive to what you're doing, and you believe wholeheartedly in it. And we believe wholeheartedly in you, Scott. We're grateful for you.
Thank you. Well, Annie, I'm a big fan. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. And if I ever come to the St. Louis area, girlfriend, we are so getting together.
Yes, we absolutely will. And I know a lot of people who would like to come see that happen. Scott, we'll talk to you again soon. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye. I love Scott. I think it's so great. It's hard for me to say this in a way that it doesn't come off as sounding like condescending, but he's nobody special in the sense that he's, achieved these high levels of government, or he's super, super wealthy, and he's decided with his extra time, he's going to go out and try to, really stoke the Republican Party. Like, think the opposite of what Scott Pressler is doing. The complete opposite end of the spectrum to me is like a George Soros, who is just piddling and playing in the political world with all of his money. He has power, he has might, and he can just put it out there anywhere he wants to. Scott Pressler is a guy with a heart and a passion, and the steps to back it up. Going around the country and asking anybody who will talk to him to talk about, are you registered to vote? And can I talk to you about why I vote the way I vote? It's inspirational. He's extremely positive. He's extremely passionate, and he deserves our attention here on the Annie Frey Show. And he deserves our emulating of what he's doing. Scott doesn't need to come here to St. Louis City or St. Louis County or, the state of Illinois to make a difference. If we watch what he's doing and we emulate it, it will make a difference. Quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America. It's 12:41 right now. You can donate your car to Goodwill. Get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. We are going to get a Cardinals update, a baseball update sometime in the show. Trying to figure out when the best time to squeeze that in, because in the 1 o'clock hour, we have Tyrus at 1. We have Eric Schmitt at 1:25. And we have Brian Cloudis, new to the show, made a comment read from the parental rights in education bill that was passed in Florida. You might have heard of it. Most people on the left call it the Don't Say Gay bill. Bill doesn't say anything about not saying gay in it at all, but marketers going to market. Full 1 o'clock full 1 o'clock hour, and Deroy Murdock in the 2 p hour. More Annie Frey Show in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. The Mark Reardon Show.
State Representative Mary Elizabeth Coleman. Missouri does have a vested right to make sure that we're protecting our citizens, the women and unborn in our state. And we also have a right to limit commercial speech under the First Amendment.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Real estate prices are through the roof, right? Home buyers are paying way over asking price. You're tempted to sell, but you're not 100% sure you're ready to move. In a perfect world, you could sell your home for full value, bank the cash, and continue living there as long as you like. Well, I found your perfect world at Truehold.com. This is life-changing. Truehold will pay you 100% of your home's value, 100% in cash right now. And here's the best part. You don't have to move unless you want to. You can stay in your home as long as you'd like. Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash within 30 days. Use your cash to do anything and everything you've dreamed of doing. Travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com and discover the smarter, faster alternative to cashing out your home's full value without having to move. That's 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Up to the minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97 Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
When I wake up,
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. If I heaver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's heavering to you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. If you just tuning in right now, you missed Scott Pressler, who is just a ball of energy and a positive. He's just a positive influence on my day. When I see him on just even tweets, he's a fighter. If he has down days, he doesn't share them with people.
Yeah, he's the definition of a guy who got famous outside of the normal realms of fame. Because I know who he is from social media, which I think anybody who knows him from socials. But he's done something that's just unique. You know, he's gotten famous by just registering voters. I mean, it's pretty unique to be able to do that.
Genius that he's gonna make a whole weekend of registering voters at gas stations.
It's smart, like he said. Can't believe nobody thought of that yet.
Yeah, I'm glad he did.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins!
All right.
Well, on the heels of Scott Pressler, this is kind of a fun story I found here. It's called Demographics Are Not Destiny. The Emerging Multi-Ethnic Right.
Wait a second. Are you telling me people think for themselves?
I am. But I didn't know that until I read this article.
Newsflash.
Amazingly, I'm just going to quote it here. It says, since the early 2000s, Democrats have been banking on the idea that demographics are destiny. As America becomes less white, Democrats will become more powerful. No need to persuade, compromise, or slow the stampede further. As more and more white people perish, America will be purified at last, the article says. But they may want to curb that enthusiasm because the numbers are rapidly changing. You've probably seen some of these in headlines over the last few months, but this article kind of compiled all of them, which I really like.
Where's the article from?
This is from something called The American Mind, but it's quoting lots of other polls and articles like from the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal and just numbers from 2016 compared to Donald Trump in 2020. Here's the first one. Excuse me. Donald Trump was considered the most racist president in modern history, but according to the Washington Post, did better among Hispanics and Asians and Black voters in 2020 than he did in 2016.
Yeah, he grew like every voting block.
He did, but we don't.
And he also has the most votes of any president in history, except for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. All very, very true. So if you break that out, what's interesting is, according to a Wall Street Journal December 2021 poll, Hispanic voters, you may have seen this one, Hispanic voters are now evenly split between Republicans and Democrats. I don't know that I ever thought I would see the day that happened, but apparently we're living that day.
A lot of, gosh, who was the one guy? Can't remember who it was, but I specifically remember hearing this and going, oh, that kind of makes sense. Suggesting that Hispanic voters, the implication that Hispanic voters are all Democrat, and by letting a bunch of people illegally enter the United States across the southern border is going to obviously allow more Latino people into the country and therefore create Democratic voters is really not a well thought out process and plan. And that Latino voters are, generally speaking, on not all of them, obviously, because I think that I hate talking about demographics and voting blocks and being like, well, women think blah, blah, blah. That's like the number one way to get me to not think that way, honestly. They're a very religious group of people on the whole, Catholic, as a Catholic heritage of sorts. Like I said, not all of them, of course, but there are a lot of things in the African American community as well that don't jive with what is going on in this far left progressive Democratic Party. So to suggest that if you're Black, you vote a certain way, I think is racist, which is almost a direct quote from what Joe Biden said in the election. If you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, as if the white man who is now in charge of the country gets to disseminate and retract the Black cards. That sounds racist. Yeah,
you mentioned the religion of Latin voters. It's true. And in Latin America in general, the fastest growing, I don't want to say religion, but I guess demographic or what's the word I'm looking for? Denomination. There it is evangelical Christians is the fastest growing denomination in Latin America. So you're right. This poll goes on to say that here's what's interesting about the midterms coming up. There are people that say that fact alone could be a, quote, extinction level event for Democrats, and point to Virginia and say that's how Glenn Youngkin actually won Virginia, was with 55% of the Hispanic vote. So if you put that over the whole nation, you're talking about a huge change. Here's another one that I thought, man, that is really interesting. It says Donald Trump gained 7 percentage points with Asian voters in 2020 versus 2016. And Asian voters generally don't like Donald Trump.
If I'm listening to this, though, and I'm hearing someone talk about how Donald Trump's votes are like these demographics, he's still lost.
True.
So, I mean, it clearly wasn't impactful enough to change the outcome of the election.
Yeah, this says that Asians view Republicans in Congress much more favorably than they view Donald Trump. So when you're talking about, again, about a midterm, you're talking about a big shift. Now, will these things be permanent? That's the question. And it just looks like, if you look at trends, all of these trends are that what we've traditionally thought for probably most of our lifetime is that you had, if you're a minority, you're voting Democrat. That is changed so much in the last 4 to 5 years that it really is going to upend elections from now on, in my opinion. And 2022 will be really key to look at not just who wins in what elections, but who voted for who in 2022, because I don't think we're going backwards here. I think this is a trend that's moving forward.
I wonder if everybody being told that because your skin is a certain color, you're supposed to vote a certain way has anything to do with this.
I would guess it does.
I mean, yeah, probably. But I think the other part of it is just a misunderstanding of what the values are of a particular group. It's very dangerous to say and I would dare I say it's racist to say every group thinks this way, but there are trends within the groups and stuff like that. And I think that it's just a misunderstanding of what those beliefs and trends are. And I think part of it is too, historically, how much the Democratic Party isn't like the traditional Democratic Party.
That's
of years
very
past.
true. That is very true. And I think you're also talking about something that hits on psychology just as much, because Annie said it. If somebody says, well, women do this, Annie says, well, I'm just prone to say, I don't want to do that then, And I think there's a lot of that with human psychology, that if you're told, well, this is what you do, you just naturally go, well, I kind of don't want to do that then, just to show you that I don't do that.
This is nerd stuff that we're talking about here. And I don't think that the majority of the country cares about nerd stuff. I think all of this discussion about, voting blocks, demographics and stuff, I do think there's value to it. I think it's very important for the nerds who are running these campaigns, and in many cases, the nerds who are running for the actual office. But put all of that stuff aside, all of the political science aside regarding, well, African Americans, they tend to lean this way, and Caucasians tend to lean that way. And the world is on fire. And the Democrats are in charge at every turn. I don't know that it's any more complicated than that.
Yeah. When you know you're paying twice as much as you were for a frozen pizza, that's the stuff that people go, okay, we got to change this. I don't care who's in charge. Something's got to change.
Mm-hmm. And if you combine that with like every time you go to fill up the gas, you know, which if you're only putting a couple bucks in, it's more often now. And if you're filling your tank all the way up, you're like, holy cow, how can I afford this? You're confronted with the reality of the policies of this administration in your everyday life, which is something new to most people out there.
So I put a picture up on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and I tweeted it out at Annie Frey Show yesterday because it was in Maryville. Diesel gas in Maryville, Illinois is $5.35. Half of that, that's 260, 270. Let's just say it's 270, 267 or whatever. Back when gas was 267, you can remember that and I can remember that. A tanker that puts diesel fuel in their semi-truck, they can put up to 150 gallons into their truck. That is $802.50 to fill up that tanker. Now, when you think about how much it costs you to fill up your tank, yikes. When gas cost half of what it does right now, it used to be $400 to fill up that tank. It is $800 to fill up that tank right now. And remember, all of the numbers that you're hearing, if you're a nerd today, coming out about the 8% inflation, they're all collected before Russia invaded Ukraine, which is what all the Republicans want you to know. It's Biden's fault. That's really the bottom line. And I think people figured that out themselves a long time ago. Let's come back with Tyrus in a minute.
Come to the enchanted attic. Come to the enchanted attic. Come to the enchanted attic.
Diane, what are you doing?
I'm chanting. Come to the enchanted attic.
But why do you keep saying come to the enchanted attic?
Duh. Because it works like magic. Tony, every time I say come to the enchanted attic, people show up at our store.
Well, you can keep chanting if you want to, but I know why people shop at our store.
And I know what you're going to say. It's those healing gemstone mugs you picked out.
Yes.
And our large crystal and stone collection that you picked out.
Yes.
But what about our unique silver and gemstone jewelry?
That you picked out?
Yeah.
Well, it is pretty amazing.
So come to the Enchanted Attic, 304 South Main Street in historic St. Charles, 636-949-9502. Free gift with every purchase. We love this store.
Mark Cox here. Join me and Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. We'll be joined by Annie Frey and Mark Reardon Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Did you know there are innovative financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from losses? Are you concerned how all the market volatility is affecting your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k or company plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, Board and Batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
Dell Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is until you stop expecting the politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, the Dell Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
You could be on your way to a better lifestyle and experience the life of your dreams. Tune in to the Dell Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
They're ready to fight. Lisa Brady, Fox News. In Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, Mayor Vitaly Klitschko tells Fox Business they're determined to defend their home.
City of Kyiv is not going to be given up. So definitely we're going to stand the ground.
This amid reports that a Russian attempt to advance on the outskirts of the city has been repelled so far. The U.S. repelling Russian disinformation.
Russia has a history also of inventing outright lies like this, which is the suggestion that the United States has a chemical and biological weapons program, or Ukraine does, that they're operating.
White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki says it's Russia that has a chemical and biological weapons program. The U.S. has been helping former Soviet states clean up and contain bioagents since the fall of the Soviet Union. Psaki, a short time ago, also saying the Russian invasion is having an impact on inflation. Consumer prices jumped 0.8% last month, and year over year, nearly 8%, another 4-decade high. And that does not yet include most of the recent spike in gas prices. One of the last nationwide hurdles to living mask-free might end soon, but only after one more extension.
The CDC is reportedly working on updating guidance for our mask wearing on public transportation, but for now has extended a mask wearing order until April 18th. More than a year ago, the CDC issued an order requiring masks on public transportation and in transportation hubs. Late last month, they said masks would not be required on buses or vans operated by school systems or childcare programs. They had also altered guidance on indoor masks, saying people could take a break from wearing them in places with lower COVID transmission. That now applies to most of the country.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. One new study suggests COVID cases might be rising in adults 55 and older in England, possibly from more socializing after restrictions were lifted. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Americans don't trust big media. The source you can trust is Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Millions are watching Newsmax and the Newsmax team with Rob Finnerty, Eric Bowling, Sean Spicer and Lindsey Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield and Rob Schmitt. Plus weekends with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Gorka and Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch to Newsmax. Try it. You may never go back.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures in the 50s this afternoon as the clouds take control tonight. A light mix of snow, sleet, freezing drizzle, and plain drizzle. Do not expect much of anything tonight. 28 for the low. Friday, it's cold with snow, a little sleet at times. 35 for the high Friday. An inch or less accumulation on Friday. Kind of like that 1-inch number. Clearing skies, windy, and down to 14 Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Cox Morning Show is here to help St. Louis wake up.
We need every governor, every elected official in this country, every senator, every congressman to stand up and say, no, you're not going to take our freedoms for your political gain.
Weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m.
This is the greatest country in the history of the world. And it is that because people can pursue their dreams. I mean, you're free to live your life.
Helping St. Louis wake up. The Mark Cox Morning Show every weekday morning on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, Illinois, if you want to bet on sports, it's never been easier to get in the game with an assist from FanDuel Sportsbook. Because now, Illinois bettors can sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook online. And to celebrate, we're hooking you and your friends up with a limited-time $100 bonus. Just invite your friends to join FanDuel Sportsbook, and after they bet $10 or more, you'll both get $100 in site credit. Be sure to get your bonus before this offer ends on March 13th. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. It's simple and easy to use. The app is great with generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, they pay fast. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, head over to the Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code MARK to make your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and invite your friends today. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the Chicago Bulls and Blackhawks and 97.1 FM Talk. 21 plus in present in Illinois. Referred players must wager $10 before 3/13/21 after signing up. Limit 10 referrals. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires after 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Presler.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 2.25% rate.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. Offset high prices with lower monthly payments or turn your home equity into cash.
Lock in this low rate while you can. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.336% APR, FHA 13-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to brentonvision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at brentonvision.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, Riverviews, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rip my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
You get to the money numbers year over year. As expected, it's 7.9% for year over year inflation, following 7.5 that could get revised. 7.9, we go to the Wayback Machine to find a higher level of inflation. You're looking at 8.4% in June of 82 as your comp. And on the year-over-year ex-food and energy, known as core, exactly as expected, up 6.4%. Of course, 6% in the rearview mirror. That still may get revised. 6.4%, well, that comps to the same as the 6%. 1982, August of 82, when it was 7.1%.
1982, folks, you remember. I don't. I was 2 years before being in the making when it was this bad in the country, economically speaking, for Americans to go about their day-to-day. Now, in the midst of this, we have a war taking place on the global stage, questions about where America is or how America is going to be involved in that. You're going to the pump and prices are astronomical. $4.58 in Illinois, where I was at the gas station the other day to get something else for a kiddo. It's a tough time to be alive right now, and it's stressful. And I keep hearing this from people who reach out to the show and react to things that we're covering. There is a lot going on right now, and oh yeah, we just, I guess, got done with the pandemic. I wonder how Tyrus is handling it.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Fox News contributor Tyrus joins us right now. Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you too, Annie.
You know, there's so much going on, Tyrus, and part of me wants to talk to you about, what do you think about Biden handling Ukraine, or what do you think about inflation, or what do you think about gas prices? But I think that there's also the value of talking about something else. Like, how are you managing the onslaught of bad news every time you turn around?
Well, I think for me, I kind of put things in perspective. I don't believe in headlines anymore. That's the one
thing about becoming a Fox News contributor is I really look past the headlines because it's the one good thing we've learned in this craziness of the last 5 years with the Trump administration and now the Biden administration is to always look at the whole situation opposed to just getting caught up in the moment. And we're seeing the benefit of having a reality president because he made politics transparent. He made it as clear as a sports scoreboard where you look at the box score instead of looking at the headline.
Yeah.
Right now they say LeBron scored 45 points, but they don't tell you the Lakers lost by 20. So that's kind of the way I look at it now.
That's such a great example.
Anything that comes out of when it comes to what's going on with the White House, because if we look at history, every time they've been on the front of something, we look at it later on 6 months and they were on the wrong side of it. So, that just goes to, and they have no strong lines. Like, we're doing this thing, the Ukraine situation, which is horrible. And he says, this is what we're doing. And then he changes, he moves the line up again and he moves the line up again. So I'm not going to be surprised with any of the outcomes with the United States because we continue to be a rubber band instead of a steel line, So it's very, I can see how it's frustrating, and especially for Americans who live paycheck to paycheck. They're getting hit in the mouth with all these things, and they're interviewing people who are like, "Oh, that doesn't make a bit of sense to me." You're not interviewing the people who are out there because they're at work.
Yeah.
During the time, so you want to do little interviews, And I think it's hilarious that people who have car service are talking about, "Oh, you're going to feel a little pinch at the pump." Taxpayers are paying for the administration's car service, and so they're not worried too much about putting gas in the car because we're paying for it, and their drivers filling up the tank. They don't even have the decency to fill up their own gas tanks. So that would be manual labor, and that's not happening. So you just have to consider the source right now when you're being told things. And unfortunately, this White House has been anything but transparent. But they're transparent in their consistency of not being honest with us. Americans are becoming very good at reading between the lines.
Well, I'm glad that last line was kind of leading into my next question, because if you spend all day, and you can, and I can see how you would want folks to spend all day watching Fox News or whatever their preferred news channel is, you just watch person after person after person react to what's going on, but you also see a lot of people who are very obviously, it's their job, it's not like it's a secret, who are trying to take the moment right now and turn it into some political capital. And you said Americans see what's going on right now. It's been a constant drumbeat from a lot of Republican pundits. They're very, very invested in making sure that the American public knows who to blame for rising gas prices, because things were going very, very, very much so in the wrong direction before Russia invaded Ukraine. And part of me is insulted by that, because I do believe that the American individual is capable of putting that 2 and 2 together and getting 4.
What we need from Republicans is solutions, not pointing the finger. It's like, the tattletale, no one likes them, right? So, and
that's exactly it.
We know who's at fault. We need solutions. We don't need, this is happening. Okay, great. You pointed it out. Anybody off the street can point out what's going on. You're elected to give us solutions. So what are your solutions? And the solutions can't be, we have to wait till November. Find ways to help. Make arguments, pass laws. It's one thing to say, reopen the Keystone, but have you put a plan up at the House? Have you put a plan in front of the Senate? No. Telling us what Putin's thinking, and he's a madman one week, and we know all these things. What we need is solutions, and we need hard lines to know that, because I don't want to see one American young man or woman fighting in Ukraine. I don't. We've done enough of that. Britain, France, Germany, Eastern Europe, they can handle that boots on the ground thing. The whole thing with the Poland saying, "Here, we'll give you the planes," and then you give it to them. Those type of things, and we have no hard lines. I worry about the welfare of the people of our country who do not sit on Twitter every night, who do not watch 24 hours of news because they have to work, raise kids, and find ways to save coupons and stuff with the high gas prices, inflation, and lack of getting things in our stores. Those are still real problems.
Yeah. We're speaking with Tyrus right now, Fox News contributor. Last question before I let you go. Do you find yourself is it easier for you to distract yourself away from the news of the day right now, like a lot of other Americans have probably been much more successful doing in the past, where it becomes more difficult when every time you got to swipe your debit card, you're having sticker shock?
Well, given the platform that I have, and I'm always been blessed to where my American fans and I always like my common sense, I find that I have to watch more of everything, and then just kind of really sift through it. And because I mean, honestly, I'd really like to tip my hat to Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfeld for taking a hard stance on America first and looking at everything through a subjective glass and not being emotional, which it's hard not to do when you look at what's going on over there. And just so I'm not saying it's one-sided. I think Jake Tapper and Bill Maher are also doing a good job in terms of looking at the totality of everything. So I found it my responsibility, since I like to sit up on this platform, and when times are easy, it's fun to make jokes and stuff like that. But when times like this one, I've taken the responsibility of being a common sense guy, which means I have to do more work now because there's a lot to sift through. Yeah. And when I do speak, I need to make sure that I'm thinking about not just my family and friends, but I grew up with missed meal cramps. I knew what it's like to make a choice between paying the electric bill or going to a movie on a Saturday night, so I'm not too far removed from that. I'm actually one done comment away from being back to that. So,
aren't we all?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely do, Tyrus.
So I've taken the responsibility and I haven't said much because sometimes I think it's best to say nothing until you have it all together, not just jumping on and getting on the bandwagon or saying things to score points or get more likes or viewers so I've taken my job very seriously, even though my job most of the time is making everyone laugh at this situation. But right now, there's no laughing matter. And the administration really needs to get in touch with the American people, and putting green first is great when you're not affected by any of the results of it. And that's what we're seeing firsthand in this country.
Tyrus, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, and your sentimentality here, I think, is felt by a lot of folks. So thank you again for sharing it with us.
Always a pleasure. And eventually you and I are going to be able to talk about hockey at some point. Not now, but at some point.
Yeah, or baseball. That's a whole different conversation. Tyrus.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yep. All right, Tyrus, we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Speaking of baseball, we have the, I don't know what your job title is right now, Chief Dude at KMOX and at 97.1.
Chief Dude.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
It's probably cooler than your real title.
It is a hell of a lot cooler than operations manager.
Steve Moore is in here with us. You told me you have breaking baseball news.
Oh, I don't know if it's this.
It is for us.
So this deadline is a constantly changing thing. And yesterday I was super optimistic, and by the end of the day I was super depressed. And now I'm super optimistic. Reports are now that they're gathering the players together to vote on the latest proposal with a 3:00 deadline today.
3:00 our time?
3:00. So it'd be 2:00 our time, 3:00 East.
Stay on that, Brad.
With the possibility of getting this passed, ratified, players being in camp no later than the 13th, with spring training games as early as the 17th. And when
so we've lost 2 weeks of baseball officially.
So there was the important things, like spring training games were supposed to start the 27th or 8th, something like that. And so we're a couple of weeks now into spring training games. And the important thing about yesterday's deadline is there was the word cancel. Tom Ackerman made sure I understood this. The word cancel was not in their release. They said they were removing games from the schedule.
Oh, so
which means they could add games right back into the schedule.
Sure.
So if they were playing spring training games by March 17th, which is what Ken Rosenthal is now reporting that's one of their goals. If they were doing that by the 17th, that would put them on time for April 7th opening day at home.
April 7th?
April 7th.
I saw the other day an email maybe from you that suggested April 25th.
Because if it was truly canceled, and they waited, the next home series would be the April 25th against the Mets.
So 2 p.m. today is an important time.
Although I will just say this about the deadline thing.
Yes, me.
It's been baloney the whole time. I mean, it was a deadline and they started meeting. Yesterday was another quote deadline, but apparently they met all night last night and were able to solve issues by this morning that has built the momentum for today. So this could easily, I don't trust anybody associated with Major League Baseball. So this could easily go in the tank again.
So I asked you earlier if you would come on and talk to us about the ramifications of a lockout, a shutdown, canceled games and everything, because as the guy in charge of KMOX, I mean, obviously there are people in this building whose names nobody in St. Louis will ever know that are going to be affected financially if baseball didn't show back up, or, you know, and that's here. We feel that personally. I know the people at home don't necessarily care about this particular place, but the bars downtown, the hotels downtown, the people who work in the stadium, like how, and that's just here.
Sure.
This is countrywide. This lockout is not just consequential to the players and the owners.
Yeah, and I think they feel that pressure, and that getting this thing moving forward is important. And even people in Florida, like there's a lot of people that make a living, or they supplement their living with these 4 weeks of spring training before the minor leaguers, you know, play their single A games. But everybody, if you the parking attendants downtown, when we reduce the number of games, that reduces their revenue. Earlier today, we were trying to figure out who the people are that sell the peanuts when you try to buy them before you go inside the stadium.
Sure.
That
is a great deal, people.
It is a great deal.
If you're looking for a deal on peanuts.
Yes, it's a great deal. So
black market.
So it definitely affects us, because if there was a reduction in the number of games, but even the timing, we don't know when opening day is going to be. So how do you sell something how do you host a big event if you're going to not know if there's going to be an opening day, or
that's a big
when
event
that's going to occur? So
one of the biggest in St. Louis day events of the year. So 2 p.m. is deadline, maybe.
I would say that it is just one of at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Central is a fluff deadline to kind of make people believe there's a deadline, and it increases pressure and tries to move the ball forward.
So when you said, what did Tom Ackerman say? They weren't canceled. They were
removed from the schedule.
It's like something I say to my kids when I ground them, but I don't really mean it.
It's kind of like our show meetings, Annie. We're not canceling them. We're just removing them from the schedule for the moment.
We'll put them back on when we need to, when I get in trouble. Is that all the games?
2 weeks. There was 2 weeks, but the belief is that if they could still get to the 7th, you're only talking about 6 games for each team. A lot of those can be made up in doubleheaders. And then there's a couple of series that are like the interleague series that they would have to figure out. So maybe even if they extended the season 3 days to accommodate that, they could figure that out. It's not hard to overcome 6 games.
All right. 7-inning doubleheaders?
No.
9?
9.
Back to 9?
I don't know what they're thinking.
Runner on second base in extra innings?
No, I don't. I think they dropped that too.
God, the Little League rule. What are they going to do without it? Everybody gets a free popsicle at the end of the game. I hate that rule. It makes me so mad. What are we doing?
I'm really glad, by the way, you didn't make fun of me for watching the wrong video last night.
Oh, we can talk about that later. I sent him. People can go on our YouTube channel or the podcast if you dare. The 2 p.m. hour, because we were trying to solve my sleep problems, and the New York Post had a suggestion, and I sent it to him. So he watches our YouTube video that I sent him, but he watched the ad. And he didn't watch the video. And then he sent me some response back. I'm like, I don't even know what this means, but it was about whatever ad you watched. Thanks for watching the ad on my YouTube channel.
I wasn't in a great place, and I couldn't figure out why you were playing war games in the middle of the night.
You said that you were at a stoplight, so I didn't press it. Thanks for checking the email at a stoplight. I appreciate it. All right. Let us know, KMLX Sports. Let us know. Maybe Kevin Wheeler will be around if something big happens. We'll probably talk to him tomorrow as well. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. We love having you in here. We're going to take a quick break. The Attorney General, Eric Schmitt, is going to be with us here in just a minute to talk about what he's doing and what he thinks regarding the energy crisis taking place across the globe. Stick around. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt in just 1 minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
loud with me right now. Say, cause I believe we can get
History looks back on times like this. Where do you stand? 97.1 FM Talk is here to spotlight what would otherwise be left in the dark. Right here, right now. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. As we go into a new year, it is a great time to get started on a new home loan. If you've been thinking about a cash out refinance to pay off debt or update your home, act now while equity is at an all-time high and interest rates are still at historic lows. Maybe it's the year that you're going to reduce your term or get rid of the dreaded PMI. Perhaps this is the year that you buy a new home. Call me now so you can shop with confidence. When you call, there will be no gimmicks or a sales pitch, just straightforward, upfront information on refinancing and home buying options. So call me today, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224143, NMLS 250353.
The following is furnished by Retirement Planners of America. Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
The stock market has seen all-time highs this past year, but are we due for a crash? If so, does your retirement plan include an exit strategy? Call today at 866-374-0841 to schedule a free retirement assessment to learn about protecting your assets from a market collapse. That's 866-374-0841. 866-374-0841.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Getting into the segment just a little bit late because we got an update from Steve Moore, the operations manager of 97.1, also KMOX, as we await hopefully a deal to end the MLB lockout. If that does come to some fruition in the show, we will make sure we bring that news to you. But that music can mean only one thing. The Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt on with us once again. Eric, welcome back to the show. Always appreciate your time here.
It's great to be with you, Annie.
So, we're watching everyday average Americans. They're watching as they fill up the pump. They are watching news coverage of Russia invading Ukraine. They're trying to piece together what they see with what is real and what is true. We have a ban on Russian oil now. Average Americans don't know what to do with all of this information, but they do know how these astronomical costs are affecting them each and every day. I'm curious what your thoughts are about it, and if there's anything that you feel like you can do about it to help the average everyday American.
Well, look, everybody is feeling it, especially those who can least afford it. In the last year, everything has gotten more expensive under Joe Biden, and it's not by accident. I mean, this is what happens when the left gets control of all the levers of government, at the federal level. And, this began, rising gas prices began well before what we see happening right now in Russia, which Russia, of course, was, I think that people on the world stage were watching this president, especially how he mishandled, to put it lightly, Afghanistan, which was really a betrayal of the American soldier, saw the weakness there. And of course, now we're dealing with an international conflict with Russia moving into Ukraine, which Russia should rightly be criticized here. And we should be implementing these sanctions on Vladimir Putin and going after his oil. But here's the missing piece to all this is we've had sanctions on American energy now under this president. I mean, there are three things. I had an op-ed in The Hill. We've sent a letter to Joe Biden last week saying, here are some things that could happen. One, reopen the Keystone XL pipeline. There's no reason to cancel that. Stop efforts to ban drilling in the Gulf of Mexico, which he's doing. Reverse the drilling and exploration bans that we have on federal lands in this country. Stop the regulations and speculative, unscientific, what are referred to as the social cost of greenhouse gases. This administration, and this is not a joke, this is more like Nostradamus than Newton, where they're predicting into the future, hundreds of years into the future, migration patterns, future warfares, conflicts, pulling all of that cost that they're associating with quote unquote greenhouse gases into present day value. Okay, all of those trillions of dollars in present day value and taxing and regulating industries they think are responsible for agriculture, manufacturing. And so we filed lawsuits on all of these things, Andy. And the other thing that could happen too is stop this virtue signaling that they have on sound investment policies, these ESG policies where the Biden administration now is moving regulations in the banking industry that would push people towards things like, electric vehicles versus oil and gas. Now, look, if people want to make those decisions on their own, that's fine.
Yeah.
But this, you saw at a press conference earlier today, it's like, well, the energy secretary said, well, people wouldn't be feeling the pain at the pump if they had an electric vehicle.
It's the worst.
I mean, it's so out of touch. It's let them eat cake. It's just so. Anyway, all this is avoidable, but I think now is the time for us to unleash energy independence and dominance. That's what we had under President Trump. We were a net exporter of energy. We should be that again. We should be exporting our energy to our friends and allies across the globe, so they're not relying on countries like Russia or China.
Yeah, and I mean, what you're proposing that we should do in the future is what we have done in the very recent past. John Kerry just out with a comment right now. This is just mind-blowing to me. They never let a good crisis go to waste, right? John Kerry says that the Ukraine crisis is bad, but just wait until you see the flood of climate refugees. I mean, the way they cling, you talk about gun clingers, like cling to your guns or whatever. They cling to climate change. It's so much that Americans can really see that their obsession with what's going on in the climate is a little bit, it's not rational. They're so obsessed with it. It is a religion to them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. This is a false religion for the left. And sadly, paychecks of working families are sacrificed at the altar because they don't. They're sort of mocking working families when they laugh about these electric vehicles or quote unquote clean energy. I mean, it is, look, if the market forces are going that way, that's one thing. But the government pushing people that way, or this obsession that the climate czar John Kerry has with making everybody feel the pain, or his ridiculous quote about, hope Putin understands the emissions of his tanks. Yeah. I mean, this is just so out of touch that.
Did he really say that? I didn't. That's news. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. And by the way, it's a distraction. He hope he realizes this is a distraction from the climate crisis. And I'll tell you, that is the phrase now. I've been on your show. We've talked about this before, Annie. The playbook has been written now on how they get things through. You have to make sure it's an emergency and it's an immediate present danger, right? Mm-hmm. So you watch. It won't be climate change anymore. It'll be the climate crisis or the climate emergency. So they can weaponize all these agencies without ever having to pass the Green New Deal to get it done by way of regulation. And what's important, I think, for the listeners to know is Missouri has been out front. We were the first state to file a lawsuit on the social cost of greenhouse gases. We are filed a lawsuit with other states on the Keystone XL pipeline. We've won on the federal leasing, to allow drilling on federally leased properties. That is being held up by the Biden administration. So we're fighting back on every front. They want to California, the rest of the country's emission standards, which would make things much more expensive when people are already feeling the pain. So we are pushing back. The states are pushing back, but people, I think, need to realize this is an all-out assault on American energy independence by this administration. It's completely unnecessary. I mean, we ought to be, drill, baby, drill, frack, baby, frack. All options ought to be on the table that'll lower the cost of energy for us here. And also, again, our friends in Germany and other places don't have to buy it from the Russians.
We're speaking with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt. I just, in my mind, am imagining a very content John Kerry as all the Russian tanks are plugged in at night to recharge for their next invasion. Or I wonder what the health of the world is going to be if a nuclear bomb is to go off, like what his reaction is going to be to the earth and to the climate. I mean, it is so privileged and elitist for them to have the worries that they have, and every single opportunity that the world gives to not just the American person, just the global citizen, to really start to think about priorities and what actually affects somebody on a day-to-day level. These elites on the far left, it's not all Democrats. Not all Democrats think this way. The Democratic Party is off of the reservation, if I could say that. They've lost the American people. And I just hope that by November, that the American people say, you've lost us and we're taking our country back.
I think there is a reckoning coming. The American people aren't going to tolerate this. They've gotten a glimpse. I mean, sadly, with the election results in Georgia, we lost the Senate, and of course the House was already under Democrat control. But the one byproduct of all that is the American people now see what it looks like when you give these crazy people the ability to develop foreign policy and domestic policy at will. And they've been completely taken over by these radicals. So again, it's just this virtue signaling that is so costly I grew up in a blue collar neighborhood, older folks are on fixed incomes. This kind of 7% inflation, cuts directly at their buying power. They're paying more for heating their homes and cooling their homes and filling up the gas pump and at the grocery store. This is the stuff that people care about. And so when you have this administration stand up there and sort of tell people, well, just buy an electric vehicle, it's so out of touch and offensive that it ought to get people motivated to go to the polls in November. That's for sure.
Last question before we let you go, Attorney General Schmitt with us right now. If the red wave does hit in November, when that new Congress is put into place in 2023, a lot of people thought that President Biden was going to be a moderate, that he was going to govern as a moderate. That's certainly the way he sold himself to the American people from his basement. Do you think that he has the ability with a very different Congress to really change on some of these issues, or do you predict that he digs in?
My prediction is, and as a member of the United States Senate next year, as I'm running, that hopefully we can talk some sense in these folks. But I think they'll double down. I think they'll lose control in historic election in the House. Hopefully we can win the Senate, and then they will resort again to the administrative state to do their bidding. And why it's so important for the states to stand up. It's also important to have senators who are willing to hold hearings and hold these people accountable, like Fauci and like this energy secretary, and make sure they're being asked the tough questions. But more than that, move an agenda forward that puts Joe Biden on the spot for American energy independence. Get back to what we had under President Trump. Also rein in the administrative state. Make sure that for every new rule they want to propose, they got to pull back 10 of them. We got to put an end to these unelected bureaucrats who are not accountable to anyone, making policy that affects people's lives. It's not what the founders intended. It's certainly something I want to work on in the Senate. But I hope you're right, that they'll come to their senses, but I think they might double down on using the administrative state to do their bidding instead of the will of the people. Man,
I got to say, you mentioned Fauci. Has anybody checked on him? Is he okay? Where is he? I don't know where he is.
Yeah, they'll bring him out again when the midterm variant hits, Annie. He'll be out talking about how it's not safe for grandma to vote in person. Don't worry, they'll pull him out again.
Take him off the shelf and put him back in front of his favorite camera. Eric Schmitt, thank you. Always a pleasure. We always appreciate you.
Great to be with you, Annie.
Yep, we'll talk to you again soon. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt, as he mentioned, running for United States Senate. He's been a fantastic Attorney General for the state of Missouri, from my observation, and hopefully from yours as well. We're going to take a quick break. New guest to the show, Brian Cloudis, joins us when we come back. Brian is a resident of Florida. He's a candidate for Florida House Representative District 6. And he's going to talk to us about that parental rights and education bill. You might have heard of it. It's called, on the left, the Don't Say Gay bill. What is this bill really about? Why does the Florida legislature want nobody in education to say gay? Or is that even in the bill? I think you know the answer to that. It's $139 right now. Donate your car to Goodwill and get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. When we come back, Brian Clowdus. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Ever wonder if it's all for you? The one I love.
Missouri does have a vested right to make sure that we're protecting our citizens, the women and unborn in our state. And we also have a right to limit commercial speech under the First Amendment.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Spring is 10 days away. I think I saw that on the internet, which means that it's true. I didn't do the math. It's close. And when you're outside in your home and you're looking at the exterior of your home, one of the things you're going to notice is your siding, probably. And one of the things you're going to notice is your windows from the outside. You've been dealing with them all winter. The leaky, drafty windows, builder's grade, put in your home when you built the house. It's maybe 10, 20 years old, and they have started to just kind of break down. You want the new windows in your home that are going to be the showstopper on the street. Those are the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. And when you go to put these into your house, guess what? You can only get them from Lakeside Renovation and Design, which is great because they're the best in the St. Louis region, installing these windows on both sides of the river to your home, to make your home that shining star on the street. Lakeside Renovation and Design has 0% financing opportunities for you as well to make sure you can do the whole scope of your project in a way that's financially responsible and fits your budget. Reach out to Lakeside at 636-978-5000. You can find them online at lakesiderenovationanddesign.com.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
Let's start off a new year with a new coat of paint. This is Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and let's make 2022 the year you transform your home or business with some new colors and expert professional painting. CertaPro can make it happen, and the quality of the work will blow you away. One of my favorite parts of hiring CertaPro is I don't have to do the painting myself. These are professional painters. They can help you bring your vision of color to life. Get started today with a free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face-to-face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Get in your comfort zone with a new HVAC system. Double carrier cool cash rebates for a total of $143 are available on qualifying new HVAC systems. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I can hear you, but I won't. Someone for trouble.
Does it say that in the bill? Does it say that in the bill? I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill because you are pushing false narratives. It doesn't matter what critics say.
It says it bans classroom instruction on sexual identity and gender orientation.
For who? For grades pre-K through 3. So 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And the idea that you wouldn't be honest about that and tell people what it actually says, it's why people don't trust people like you because you peddle false narratives. And so we disabuse you of those narratives. And we're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
Well, Florida's governor, and as I like to call him, America's governor, because I live in the state of Illinois, talking to you about this bill that widely has been referred to because of a very smart marketing campaign from the left as the Don't Say Gay bill. And last night out, as I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw Brian Clowdus, who I follow on Twitter, and he kind of sums up what's really going on in this bill. He is a candidate for the Florida House. He's a resident, obviously, of Florida, and he's got some thoughts on this. He's looking to represent District 6. Brian, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on here with us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. First and foremost, I want to know a little bit about you. You've moved to Florida. You've been in Florida for some time. Side note, and for the people who are familiar with the show, he worked for Disney for a year and as a singer, and I think that's fantastic and cool because you all know how much I love Disney. But you spoke on this bill. Like, tell me a little bit about your background, your backstory. That got you to this moment in time where you're out here commenting on politics?
Yeah, so I'm very new to politics. I work in the entertainment industry, as you can imagine, not the kindest industry to be a conservative Republican in. I've done theater my entire life. I was pretty apolitical until a couple of years ago, like a lot of people. President Trump woke me up. I had my red pill. And after I did, it was pretty much impossible to unsee all of the truth out there. For me, I'm a truth seeker. So much was exposed as being false by mainstream media. And I just saw that fake narratives were being created left and right. And it got me really motivated to get involved with my local Republican Party here. And then one thing led to another, and people started saying, you need to run. We need more people like you in politics. Something I never, ever imagined myself doing. But, I firmly believe we need real people stepping up. These are service roles. These are not leadership roles. So I have stepped up to serve my community and serve the entire state. And I'm really passionate about this bill in particular because the left mainstream media has just created a completely false narrative about this bill. And I think we need people standing up to say you're lying. I mean, this is just pure lying. People aren't even reading the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, I have the bill printed out. I've been carrying it around in my bag for days just in case somebody wants to read it. But, at no point in this bill does it say that you can't say gay.
Right.
A lot of people are saying, oh, well, you can't talk about having two mommies or two daddies. I mean, that's just absolutely a bullcrap lie. There's nowhere in this bill that says you can't talk about having two moms or two dads. Of course, a bill that said you could not say the word gay in school would be lunacy, but that's not what this bill says. And I just want to read the core of this bill. It really goes toward getting this woke indoctrination out of kids' heads. Kids should be kids, as our governor says. And I want to read point 3 at the bottom of page 4. Classroom instruction. I want to highlight that word. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3.
Kindergarten through grade 3, people.
I mean, these are children.
Yes.
Children.
It is absurd. I have 4 kids myself, and I have a kindergartner and I have a 4th grade student. And I'm just thinking about, people are like, you're not supposed to talk about sexual orientation. Well, what about, leading heterosexual lives? I don't want any of it.
None of it.
It's not like I want you to talk about this thing to my children, but not that. If you want like a gender indiscriminate place, those are the ages where gender is not the key focus of anything, because kids are learning other things, and then they get out into the world, and the world teaches them to look at each other and see each other differently and make those judgments. Those kids don't learn that until grown-ups teach them that. And while they're young, let them be innocent of that and let them learn the things that they need to learn, and keep those types of conversations out of that classroom so that the parents can handle it. My assessment of this bill is that it puts the responsibility where it belongs, in the home with the parents, and it doesn't create a division between what the school is able to do, what the educators are able to do with those children without parent notification.
Yeah, I don't know at what point the government started peddling this idea that parents should not be in control of raising their children. I think it's absolute lunacy. Parents should be in charge of their children's upbringing. School is for teaching things like reading, writing, arithmetic, skills. You're not sending your kids to school to be lectured on choosing their own gender. And here's the thing, it's like, I want kids to be kids too. Guess what? I would play with dolls when I was a little boy because my sister had dolls and I thought she was cool, but now, unfortunately, kids can't even do those things like that because they're like, oh my gosh, we know Johnny played with a doll. He must be a girl. It's just jumping to these insane conclusions and trying to be like, oh, Johnny, do you want to be a girl? And you start indoctrinating these children at a young age. I wanted to be a unicorn at one point growing up,
Yeah. My son wants to be a Pokemon, so we can.
Exactly.
Can we make that happen? He would be so incredibly happy.
So, yeah, what are Pokemon pronouns? So that would be my next question.
I wouldn't even know. I have no clue. I'd probably get that wrong as well. Brian, we're speaking with Brian Clowdus right now. He's a resident Florida candidate for Florida House Representative District 6. You can learn more about him at cloudusforhouse.com. Brian, I look at what the left has done, and they've labeled this the Don't Say Gay bill, because on the surface, the far left progressives, because I don't believe that the Democratic Party, I don't believe that the Democratic voters are very represented right now by the leaders in the party. I think there's a huge division there and a huge opportunity for common sense in America. The idea of attaching the Republican Party with something that says "Don't say gay" is so easy and obvious from a marketing standpoint that if you don't read the bill, a lot of people will just take that for what it's worth. I'm curious what your thoughts are right now on the Republican Party when it comes to these social issues. Is that as easy of a connection to make as it always has been, or do you think that the Republican Party is not invested in those social issues the way they had been in the past?
I think the Republican Party has greatly changed in the past couple of years. I think that President Trump created a big tent party. So you've got lots of people who are considered diverse. You know, you've got LGBT conservatives, you've got Black conservatives, Latino conservatives. And I think that really threatens the Democratic Party because their whole narrative of saying that Republicans are homophobic, racist people is starting to crumble. So what are they doing? They are trying every effort in their playbook to keep painting us conservatives as homophobic, racist people, and they're having to flat out lie about it. I mean, you saw what happened in the Virginia governor race. I mean, we had people dressing up as white supremacists going to Governor Youngkin's rallies. You know, you've got people, and I mean, I will tell you, it is brilliant marketing on the left, the far left, you know, for them saying, oh my God, there's a bill in Florida that says you can't say gay in school, because they know that the average, everyday American is not going to print out a bill. They're not going to read it. They're going to believe what everyone is feeding them. So I think on the left, it's kind of a brilliant marketing plan, but I think it's ultimately wrong and very corrupt because you're seeing so many diverse, fresh voices in the Republican Party saying, you know what, like, I want low taxes. I want freedom. I want to go back to our Constitution. And yes, I just so happen to be Black, or yes, I just so happen to be gay, you know, and that really crushes their whole narrative. So I think you're seeing the Democratic Party really scramble. But here's the thing. I think you're seeing a lot of moderates, you know, really start to wake up to what's happening in our country. People are sick of lying, you know, and you're seeing a lot of center people creep on over to the right, you know, because they're tired of being lied to. I mean, this really comes down to a conversation about truth versus lying. And I beg everyone listening to you and I speak right now, print out the bill. It's 7 pages. Read it word for word. And you will see that there is not one word in here that says you can't say gay or can't talk about having same-sex parents. It is just a complete lie. And I'm disappointed in Disney. You know, I mean, you and I both love Disney. I worked for Disney as a singer, but they too have caved to the woke mob. And they are, you know, asking our governor to not sign it. But I asked Disney, look at your clients. Most of your people that go to Disney are like families who don't want their children indoctrinated. So look at who's paying your bills, Disney, and wake up.
Yeah, it is so much of a PR move by the left that it's got one of the biggest companies on the face of the planet, Disney, wrapped up in reacting to something that isn't even actually in existence. Brian, a pleasure to speak with you. We're going to keep following you and encourage everyone to go follow you as well on Twitter at Brian Cloudis. Is that the right Twitter account? I don't have it right.
That's it, Brian Cloudis.
All right. Well, we're going to put this interview up and we're going to share it with the world, and we're grateful for you. Look forward to having you back on the show soon, Brian.
Thank you so much, hon.
Yep. Take care. We appreciate you. Running for District 6, Florida State House Representative, for all the people in District 6 in Florida who are listening to us. But just what an interesting perspective on the Don't Say Gay bill, which it doesn't say. It should be the Doesn't Say Gay bill. It's not in there. And he's out there on Twitter shouting that from the rooftops. And we were grateful for that. So thanks, Brian. Great to talk to you. We'll do it again soon. Deroy Murdock, when we come back, Ryan Wiggins back in studio as well. Stick around.
Into the unknown. Into the unknown.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
This is a place where your daily experience is the focus. A stunning locale of exceptional care and attention, where community comes together and new friendships form, where activities are limitless and amenities unsurpassed, and where you are surrounded by excellence. This is Allegro Richmond Heights, assisted living, memory care. Live beautifully. For a tour, call 314-202-5989 or visit allegroliving.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Feeling the pinch and laying blame. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House pointing to Russia's war on Ukraine as inflation jumps again.
The Consumer Price Index shows inflation jumped 7.9% year over year. Housing saw a 4.7% jump in costs. Groceries went up over 8.5%. But it was gas that saw the largest rise, 38%. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki says that number may go higher still.
There is also no question that inflation may be higher for the next few months than it would have been without President Putin and Russia's further invasion into Ukraine.
Even after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said he was still inclined to back a quarter-point rate hike next week when the Fed meets as they grapple with inflation.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Republicans say gas prices were already rising and that the president's energy policies share the blame, which the White House denies. In Ukraine, Russian troops try to advance on the outskirts of the capital.
This appeared to be the first real attempt to push in past those defenses, and they were repelled. And we have seen them being repelled time and time again across this country.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in Kyiv.
Whether or not they keep trying to come in with their armored vehicles and their infantrymen remains to be seen. They might try again. Instead, what we do expect to see, and what we've seen across the rest of this country, in Mariupol, Kharkiv, Chernihiv, is them using their longer-range artillery to soften up the defenses, break the will of the people before they do move in on the ground.
Meantime, a fresh round of international condemnation over the deadly strike on a maternity hospital in Mariupol and a continued run of businesses pulling out of Russia. Goldman Sachs becoming the first big Wall Street bank to say it will exit entirely. The Pentagon just out with a report critical of the U.S. military response to a 2020 attack by militants in Kenya that killed 3 Americans. Inadequate training, poor unity of command, and inadequate focus on force protection among the issues flagged. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Americans don't trust big media. The source you can trust is Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Millions are watching Newsmax and the Newsmax team with Rob Finnerty, Eric Bowling, Sean Spicer and Lindsey Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield and Rob Schmitt. Plus weekends with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Gorka and Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch to Newsmax. Try it. You may never go back.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Temperatures in the 50s this afternoon as the clouds take control tonight. A light mix of snow, sleet, freezing drizzle, and plain drizzle. Do not expect much of anything tonight. 28 for the low. Friday, it's cold with snow, a little sleet at times. 35 for the high Friday. An inch or less accumulation on Friday. Kind of like that 1-inch number. Clearing skies, windy, and down to 14 Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's happening right here, right now.
We remain united. We remain united in our purpose to keep pressure mounting on Putin.
Reliance on a single foreign supplier can leave a nation vulnerable to extortion and intimidation.
But there will be cost as well here in the United States. I said I would level with the American people from the beginning. And when I first spoke to this, I said defending freedom is going to cost.
Right here, right now. 97.1 FM Talk.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Keppel here, serial entrepreneur. I hired my first employee in 1988,
but I interviewed poorly and didn't provide job training. So 6 hours after she started, I ushered the tearful employee out the door without even putting her on my payroll. Yes, I hired and fired my very first employee on the same day and broke my first payroll law. I was a terrible employer. Years later, I created Patriot software to help employers with 1 to 100 employees not make mistakes with their payroll. Go to patriotsoftware.com, use promo code RADIO, and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
With patriotsoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance, 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
Odyssey celebrates Women's History Month.
Danica Patrick drove to new lengths to break barriers for women in racing. She first drove in the IndyCar Series in 2005, taking 3 pole positions. And in 2008, she became the first woman to win an IndyCar race. She also became the first woman to compete full-time in NASCAR and lead both the Daytona and Indy 500s.
Odyssey, celebrating remarkable women. For more, check out our exclusive station, She Sings, on the Odyssey app.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock, River Views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. Visit GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah, guys, this joint press conference came across like a bilateral check-in. It was detached from the reality on the ground. As the pair spoke, there were air raid sirens sounding in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. We heard this diplomatic and political speak from Vice President Harris. The Ukrainian people don't need that. They need anti-tank missiles. They need anti-aircraft batteries. I mean, we heard just all of this talk that you hear out of Washington about cooperation and friendship and to be nimble and swift in the response and understanding and appreciating. There are people dying as we speak on the ground in Ukraine. Across this country, thousands of people. And the capital is being targeted from the ground and the air. The Ukrainians right now are calling for a no-fly zone because women and children are being bombed by Russian forces.
Fox News' Trey Yingst giving that report about the complete and total detached way that the United States has been responding so far to the crisis taking place in Ukraine. I'm going to read here real quick from the latest Fox News report. CIA Director William Burns said Thursday that although Russian President Vladimir Putin has tightened his grip on what the media is saying within his country, he can't hide the truth of what is happening in Ukraine forever. Burns said he has intensified his domination of the state-run media and his strangulation of independent media, especially in recent years, and particularly since the invasion of Ukraine began. But I don't believe that he is going to be able to seal Russians off entirely from the truth. This is where I feel like a lot of what we've seen private companies doing by pulling back from Russia, it's to me more than virtue signaling if it actually shows the Russian people that something going on there that, like, what does this have to do with Coca-Cola? Why is Coca-Cola not providing products to the people in Russia anymore? And you pair that with a whole bunch of other things where you notice that there is a obvious concern that exists with what is taking place that Russia is now being punished for on the world stage. That would make the average Russian question what is taking place under the leadership of Putin. More from Burns, quote, there are lots of Russians who have VPN accounts, who have access to YouTube to this day, who have access to information. I don't believe he can wall off indefinitely Russians from the truth, especially as realities begin to puncture that bubble, according to the CIA director. He added the realities of killed and wounded coming home, an increasing number, the realities of the economic consequences for ordinary Russians, the realities of the horrific scenes of hospitals and schools being bombed next door in Ukraine and of civilian casualties there as well. These are real things that if the Russian people are kept from understanding the truth of what's going on, could potentially go along with this, but Vladimir Putin's not going to be able to keep all of this information from getting to the Russian people. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, they're trying to speak with Poland in a bilateral, and it's very, very difficult to watch. It's a very, very complicated thing to take in.
And so through all of that, and in the spirit of those relationships and our shared commitments, our shared commitment to the importance of international norms and rules, you and I discussed today many important topics, in particular as it relates to the eastern flank. And we talked specifically about what we care deeply about in terms of our commitment, the United States commitment to Article 5. I've said it many times. I will say it again. The United States commitment to Article 5 is ironclad. The United States is prepared to defend every inch of NATO territory.
Okay. Listening to her speak, she's does not deliver to me a commanding understanding and force with the way that she speaks. It's hard to parse the things that are coming out of her mouth with what we're seeing, leadership we're seeing from other countries. As this continues to unfold, it doesn't feel like the Americans are leading. And then there's the laughter.
He recently spoke with the mayor of the largest border town, who told him that the refugee system is essentially not set up for this, that it will collapse. It's an improvised system that can work for maybe 2 weeks, but not indefinitely. And I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first. Okay, so this time.
You know, when he responds to that, when he actually gives the answer, he says, he refers to what he's talking about, the serious issue. The vice president of the United States is standing next to the president of Poland, and they're speaking about this massively tense situation that has the entire world on the edge of their seat. And Kamala Harris is laughing. I don't understand it. I am not going to go in and make fun of her for it because it's just not funny. It's not an amusing moment. She has not had a single moment where she has been sent somewhere and she's handled this situation or that situation or the one before that. She hasn't had a win. Literally, people on all of the networks are saying the terms World War III. The conversation surrounding the potential for World War III is actually being discussed in all of the news networks. There's something that we all consistently are paying attention to on the left side of the media, on the right side of the media. Everybody is adhering to this understanding that this moment in time, right now, watching what Vladimir Putin is willingly doing to the Ukrainian people and knowing what he has the capability to do to the Ukrainian people and anybody else who he feels erroneously steps in his way. And we continue to send the vice president of the United States, who's incredibly unprepared and very ill-displayed, standing next to these world leaders who have to remind the press corps that is there to represent the world, the global citizen, that this is a serious issue. I don't understand it. I mean, is she really the only option that we have? Is this as good as it gets? Because the situation has never been more serious than it is today. Let's get to our guest, Fox News contributor Deroy Murdock, on with us right now. Deroy, welcome to the show. Always a pleasure to have you here, especially on a Thursday. Great to have you back.
Yes, Annie, good to talk to you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Watching the world potentially burn is a little stressful for a lot of people right now. And I got to tell you, watching what Vladimir Putin has done so far, knowing what he's capable of doing in the future, and then seeing the vice president on the world stage not handling this well, it's got a lot of people on edge.
Well, I think we have a right to be on edge. I mean, we've seen the complete rape of this country, Ukraine, over the last 14, 15 days, completely unprovoked. I mean, very often when there's an international conflict, you've got one country is the bully and one is the victim, but the victim often has said something appropriate or done something wrong, or there's some cause for the conflict. But this is just like watching a heavyweight prize boxer go up to a 6-year-old girl and just sock her in the nose for no reason whatsoever, and throw her to the ground and have his way with her. I mean, just seeing all these attacks we've been watching over the last couple of weeks, seeing this maternity hospital attacked yesterday. I can't think of anything more atrocious than blowing up a maternity hospital and killing pregnant women. I guess there's a little 6-year-old girl killed, pregnant women injured, and I'm sure there are probably dead people in the rubble. And the response from repeatedly from President Zelensky, who's an incredibly brave man, is, give us planes. We'd like to have planes we can blow up these Russian trucks coming in. And the response from the administration is, well, they wouldn't be that helpful, so you don't have permission to do that. It wouldn't really. I mean, let the Ukrainians give it a shot. Maybe if they knock 1 or 2 tanks out, they slow things down a little bit. Don't they have the right to try to defend themselves? Maybe it'll turn out to be even more effective than anybody imagines. The level of passivity on the part of the Biden administration is staggering. We had these financial sanctions last week that I guess might help a little bit, but the big stuff that would help has not happened, such as namely opening the spigots, which would restore U.S. energy independence. This would drive down the price of petroleum. It's gone up about 80% since Biden showed up. Every dollar per barrel that goes down in price is that much less money that Putin can put in his war machine. And if suddenly he finds himself with the ruble at about a penny per dollar or less, and the price of his one most important export item falling to the floor, he's going to think twice about continuing this thing. As it is, every day that goes up, every day that goes by, the price of oil goes up, and this turns out to not just be a great military move for him, but a really good financial move as well, and that's absolutely appalling.
Yeah, we're speaking right now with Fox News contributor Deroy Murdock. When we saw the president come out and initially talk about the heavy sanctions they were going to levy against Russia and Vladimir Putin, he said in that press conference, we'll reassess in 30 days. Like 30 days? What's going to happen? What is Putin going to do in these 30 days? And then he follows up with a ban on Russian oil. You're going to be releasing shortly an op-ed that you're putting together, but you believe that we need to really take it to Vladimir Putin where it hurts.
Yeah, I was in Florida last week, and I spoke with a retired CEO. Had a really good idea. It's a very simple idea, and I don't know why we've not done this yet, which is basically, and this is a great opportunity for Biden to show some leadership, get in touch with the other NATO heads of state, the European Union, and others, and put forth this very simple proposition. The folks who know where Putin's money is, his money managers, his accountants, the people who've taken his money and I assume stashed it in various places around the world, if they come forward with his bank records, with his account numbers, with his boxes of jewels or masterpiece paintings, that they will get a 5% bounty on anything they bring forth. The other 95% will go to relief for Ukraine war victims. And Vladimir Putin will have that much more money drained from his bank accounts. If this actually starts to hurt him financially, not just his people, not just the babushkas and the other folks across the country, but actually hurts him in the wallet, he might think, we've taken this thing far enough. Time to get the tanks rolling back into across the Russian border. That's would be the right thing to do, financially right thing to do, from a national security standpoint, the right thing to do, and it can be done without getting any American boots on the ground, any American planes over the air. This all can be done by essentially giving a big incentive to the people who know where Vladimir Putin's money is to step forward, hand it over, and be richly rewarded for doing so. And by the way, the proceeds should be tax-free, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a very interesting thought, and we're going to share that article when you do publish it. Deroy, thank you for coming on with us today. We always love connecting with you.
Great, Annie. Good to talk to you today. Be well. Bye
you as well. Bye-bye. Fox News contributor Deroy Murdock. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, might have some news on the MLB lockout front, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. You might need to get those Cardinals tickets. You can donate your car to Goodwill and get 2022 Cardinal tickets at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. So if you want to secure some of those tickets, if the season's going to happen, I don't care. Someone said, I think the quote was from Tim on Facebook, pee on baseball, working people don't care. I myself am a working person and I care. I think a lot of people do care about baseball, and we need baseball now more than ever. It's America's pastime. At least it is for me. And I think that we need positive things taking place in baseball is that for a lot of people, including myself. So we'll get an update on that. If there's one to share, we'll have it in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Here's 97.1 insider Hans von Spakovsky.
They would push through bad bills that would actually destroy the economy of this country and our general standard of living.
Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
When you were looking to replace an air conditioning unit or furnace, let's be real, but if we're getting into a couple days from here from spring, your AC, it's going to be, there might have been people who turned it on because it was 80 degrees last week. And it's 30 degrees today, of course, in St. Louis. If you are thinking about having to replace an air conditioning unit, there's a great opportunity for you at Air Comfort Service right now with Carrier Cool Cash rebates. You can qualify for 0% financing as well, up to 72 months. If you are looking to save from $100 to $4,300 on qualifying Carrier equipment, Air Comfort Service has the hookup for you. You can learn more at aircomfortservice.com, or you can type this number in your phone and save it for a convenient time, a safe time to call, and ask them about it. Say, I heard Annie talking about some rebates or something. If you don't want to write down all the details right now, I don't blame you. Talk to them about what you need or what you might need. Have them come out and make a check on your unit that you have at your house and see what they can do for you. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. My friends at Air Comfort Service waiting for your phone call online at aircomfortservice.com.
I love parlays and double doubles. You guys know it.
Aaron Hawksworth, co-host of BetQL Daily, 9 to noon Eastern on the BetQL Network.
I think the thing is to find something that works for you. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed by so many teams, so many things to bet on. But if you focus on a couple things and you get really good at that, then it's fun. I love it.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to BetQL Daily with the Joes and Aaron Hawksworth. Streaming weekdays from 9 to noon Eastern on Odyssey.
Hi,
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face-to-face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When Richard Irvin decided to take on Pritzker for governor, he wasn't following a whim. He was answering a long familiar call to duty. Irvin joined the Army out of high school, served in Desert Storm, decorated for bravery. Surviving a brush with death in a dangerous war zone, Richard dedicated his life to service because he loves his country and knows how fragile freedom and security are. As a prosecutor, Irvin put thugs behind bars, drug dealers, gangbangers, 1,000 convictions, hired more cops, and cleaned up crime as mayor, balanced budgets, passed property tax relief. When riotous looters came to town, Irvin shut them down. He knows we'll lose the country he fought for if the radical woke mob takes control. Irvin says all lives matter, that schools shouldn't teach kids to be ashamed of their color or country, that we'll take our state back if we have strong, service-minded leadership. And that's Richard Irvin, our next governor, paid for by Irvin for Illinois.
You say tomato and I say tomato. Everyone is different. We have different fingerprints, different jobs, different homes, different personalities. We think differently, we speak differently, spend differently, and save differently. Why would our dreams for retirement be different? At Heisey Advisory Group, we help our families put together the many pieces of the financial puzzle to provide a clear plan for the future, embracing the uniqueness of an individualized plan. Take advantage of scheduling your initial strategy session and going through our retirement roadmap review process to see if your retirement dream is within reach. Call 314-328-6000 and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-6000. That's 314-328-6000.
IZ Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Heading for a crash, or a flowing skirt is blowing in a transcendental wind, and she wonders without knowing, where did we begin?
All right, so there's potentially some news here on the horizon regarding baseball, and I heard that Brad Range tweeted about it, so it must be true. And we have Steve Moore back in studio. This is 2 times in one day. I'm like your Cardinal reporter. Producer, turn on the microphone. There you go.
Oh, sorry. We'll work on that later.
There's this like power struggle between the people who have the button in front of them and Brian and Brian.
No.
Brian is, I don't know if you know this, Steve.
Yeah.
Brian is their couple name.
It's not funny. Don't laugh at it.
It's hilarious.
It is kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Brad really likes it and Ryan really doesn't, which is like a true couple. So anyway, baseball, you were in here a little bit earlier in the show and saying that there might be something happening at 2. Something happened.
Yeah, it looks like the players have agreed to end agree to the latest Major League Baseball proposal.
Well said.
Which is great. Yeah, that really came out well.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say end the strike, but it's not a strike. It was a lockout. And it looks like that we're going to have baseball. And that is part of the interesting, if you follow Twitter, part of the interesting narrative was the executive board reportedly voted against it, but the players still voted for it. So the collective entire
break
union.
that down to even the dumbest folks like me.
So that the people who are kind of handling the negotiation had great reservations about the latest proposal and recommended against it, but they still put it out to a vote of the players, and the players voted for it.
So when you say the players, is that all the players, or is that
all the players? Which is interesting.
It's not just the representation.
That's correct.
Like Max Scherzer, who the other folks we've seen in there.
Right. So they, I guess, do a Zoom with their with the rest of the players and talk about what's going on, give recommendations, and then at some point they vote. Now, as much problem as we've had with voting, I have this whole scandal in my head.
Yeah.
Like there's a hanging Chad issue.
It is Florida.
I think they're in New York now.
Wait a minute. Pedro Guerrero voted 15 times.
Yes, exactly.
Pedro
Guerrero.
Vote for Pedro. Isn't that a thing?
So I think it's cool. I'm glad that this. I haven't seen an official announcement from Major League Baseball yet, but if John
Wait till those
Heyman
3
and Jeff
a.m.
Passan
votes
are
come in
reporting
and
it,
everything changes.
Yes. So it looks really good.
So the assumption is right now that baseball is back.
It looks like baseball is back, and we'll have spring training games by the 17th or 18th, somewhere in that ballpark.
How's Camo X feel about this?
Well, can you see the smile on my face?
Yeah. How does the sales department feel about this?
The sales department is happy. No, this is really important, and I'm a huge fan of the game, and I'm a huge Cardinal fan, and these kinds of things don't resonate well with fans that are paying a lot for expensive tickets. They want to go to the games. A lot of people are on vacation last week, this week, next week, and they're in Florida because they want to see spring training games. And can you imagine being in Jupiter, Florida, and not being able to go to?
I can imagine being in Jupiter, Florida.
I can imagine it too, because I was supposed to be there yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
I really do believe that the Annie Frey Show could do some good work from Jupiter, Florida.
Me too, Steve.
I agree.
I agree.
I could do
Brian.
a whole thing.
Dang it.
I'm so happy.
No, it's not a thing.
I'm so happy.
It's not a thing. You just flubbed the word. It's not a thing.
It's a thing.
I asked Brian this question one time, because Ryan told us that he has a huge affinity for Shania Twain, especially 1990 Shania Twain.
This is ridiculous.
That's what you said.
I said I like that one song.
He said it was a secret
Still
affinity.
the one.
You said you're still the one. You're like, I really, really like the song.
I enjoyed that song at the time.
And you felt comfortable now in your old age acknowledging that.
That's correct.
Confidence.
Yes.
And I said, if Brian was dancing to You're Still the One, who would lead?
I think I said we wouldn't dance to a song together.
I know, but Brad was very confident that he would be leading.
No.
I mean, like, what do you do? I don't know who's the more confident person in here. I have an idea.
I am confidently telling you that if that guy walked up to me and asked me to dance to any song,
if he's leading, he might not even ask.
He'd absolutely melt.
Wait, the person leading just walks up and says, "Get up," and you don't have a choice in it? That's
how it
what
works.
you just said.
That's how it works.
No, it's not.
This is the patriarchy, dude. Welcome to this side of it.
Man, I am the patriarchy, and I say that is not that way.
I have to break something to you. In fact, Ryan, you are not the patriarchy.
Apparently not in this relationship.
No person who has to say, I am the patriarchy is the patriarchy.
By definition, that's kind of beta. Just gonna put that
Well, I have questions about baseball, so...
Oh, yeah, that's why we were here.
Steve, you did mention that tonight in baseball is going to be bonkers. It's going to start...
So, assuming everything that was being reported is true, that the business, once this is ratified, the business of baseball will kick off, because a lot of free agent players have not signed, and they're going to be looking for teams. So there should be, it could be crazy. It would be amazing for baseball to have some of the biggest names in the game moving around
That's gonna be
effectively
fun. Yeah.
today and tomorrow, trying to get themselves in camp. Which of course then makes you wonder, were they negotiating when they weren't supposed to be talking?
Of course they
that's,
were.
that's
way.
impossible. Nobody would do that.
Nobody was doing that.
But do you have any predictions? Any expectations?
For the Cardinals?
Mhm.
No, this is usually where I get let down. There's
If Steve was in charge, what would happen next? Wait.
Who's even out there?
Are you? No. Stop.
Okay.
Just a second. The question that we all agree on: should they sign Albert Pujols for DH? You gonna talk with your heart or your head, man?
I don't know.
You could see him battling.
I know. There's an internal struggle taking place
I love
right now.
Albert Pujols, and I would love to have him as the DH, but I would really like to see Trevor Story playing shortstop for the Cardinals. But
why not both?
Wait, you're talking from your head.
Yeah.
Lame.
It's not my
lame.
Yes. But
you talk with this head on the Camel X side of things. Here we are all heart, passionate, hearts on our sleeve, conservative talk radio.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
No facts.
I
all
say,
feelings.
let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And give him $100 million for 1 year.
1 year. Albert, 1 year. And Goldschmidt needs to rest some so Albert can play some first base.
So wait, now when it comes to games played, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm not 100% clear on it. Is it possible that they play 162 games this year?
That is the plan. They would play 162.
Oh, sweet.
And they figure out where those games that were not canceled, but removed from the schedule, which was what was in the literature, they figure out how to make those games happen.
They'll figure a way to make those games happen.
Which is
Doubleheaders probably and off days.
Which is exciting because I was thinking about Waino and Molina and their records that they're pursuing. And if you lose 6 games or 12 games, that's at least 2 starts.
Yeah, I think that's right. For Cardinal fans, I think it's really important to see them get as many starts together as you can this year. And there's another big day that's coming up. April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day.
Text Day.
So they want to make sure that they get that in. So there's a lot of things that they need to get done. But I think Waino and Molina is a big thing for Cardinal fans, and they're going to want to see that.
Go ahead.
What's the big? Are there rule changes? Are we going to notice any differences in the game? And is it just because COVID's over, or is it because the negotiations are over? Like what's changed?
So the DH is going to be a universal DH, and that starts immediately. So that is a big thing, and that gives, like for example, the Albert Pujols thing. There's no chance of that happening if they don't have a DH. Now there is a chance that happens, and how realistic it is, I don't know. It's, it could be just fandom being emotional. But some of the things they're talking about is a pitch clock to speed up the pace of play. People don't kind of get that that's a big deal, but listening to Kevin Wheeler, who's on your air a lot, talks about this. If you have a guy who throws 100 miles an hour and he needs 30 seconds, 40 seconds to be able to do that repetitively, now he has to do it within 15 seconds. That's not as easy.
Am I wrong? All the people who don't love baseball want the games to get over faster. Who cares about those people? Like, if you love baseball and you're like, I've never gone to a baseball game with any like normalcy and gone, God, I wish this would get over.
I think the most important thing is that that the changes that they're making can speed up the game, and that would create more action during the game. So eliminating the shift, I think, is like a plan for 23. If you eliminate the shift,
that's not eliminated this year.
I don't think so. And I don't think the pitch clock thing starts this year. I think that's something they're going to
What
work
about the
into next
bases?
year.
Are they doing the bigger bases?
I think that's a 23 thing as well. So
like bases the size of a human being.
Yes.
Like you can lay across the whole base.
They're like 8 foot by 8 foot now. Should be a lot easier.
Sounds great.
They're going to increase the base
they're
size
in the outfield.
like Illinois increases gas tax.
And they move between each pitch.
Yes, they're constantly moving, so you're chasing them.
I love this. I used to be a purist, but not anymore. I want to see that.
Totally changed. All right. Well, Steve, congratulations to Camel X, but also to St. Louis and everybody who's been looking for baseball to come back. I mean, barring those 3 a.m. decisions, folks, that we know a little bit about here on 97.1, baseball is back, and we'll have all of the updates here. I'm sure Camel X is going to be covering it.
Unless, of course, this is all wrong.
Unless Steve is wrong. And if this is all fake news, it was for my boss, so I can't get in trouble for it. So.
Right.
Probably. Maybe.
Well,
We'll
look
see.
at this, though, Steve. There's a picture of fans giving the thumbs up online. So that means it's all true.
It's legit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be true.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Steve. We appreciate it. Let's take a quick break. We'll wrap this up with some kind of bow here in just a minute before we hand it over to the Mark Reardon Show. A reminder, you can stream us live on the Odyssey app. And if you missed anything, we've had a packed show today. Scott Pressler on, the most active grassroots activist guy who's out there getting people to vote at 12:25. You can rewind to that. Tyrus at 1 o'clock. Eric Schmitt at 1:25. Brian Clowdus on the Don't Say Gay bill, which is a doesn't say gay bill, at 1:45. Deroy just got done. Steve, now what are we going to talk about next? What is left to talk about?
I don't know. Let's just make barnyard noises for the rest of the show.
That's what we're going to do. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
It's only been a year, Mark.
He has destroyed the country in 13 months, Keith. Wouldn't you trade a few mean tweets for $2 a gallon gas?
Absolutely, Marky. I don't make Mark Cox money. I make Keith Canzone money.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. He's the big alone guy. He's going to be happy because he's got a hot dog stand at Busch Stadium. So Stewie's happy today. We're happy today if baseball is back. Another reason you could be happy is if you lower the cost of your mortgage every month. That's a no-brainer. Biggest bill that you probably pay each and every month. If not, I would like to know what is bigger than that. When you refinance with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and you use the bagel loan, you pay zero in closing costs, zero fees. All these other lenders out there are going to charge you that if you're getting a mortgage for the first time because you're purchasing a home. This can make you a much more competitive offer. This can make you a much more competitive buyer and closing in 14 days. It's really amazing what the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage can do for you. And you need to give him a call. You can even text him and you can just say, Annie told me about the bagel loan. Would like to know how it can help me. And he'll talk to you about your particular circumstance and get you set up. And I'll be honest with you that if it won't help you, he will be honest with you. He's told me those stories as well. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
How about starting the new year off with a new coat of paint from CertaPro Painters? This is Mark Reardon, and I've trusted the experts at CertaPro for a long time now. They've knocked out project after project over the years, and the quality of the work always blows me away. Imagine what a new coat of paint and a new color can do for your home. It's a great time for your vision of color to come to life. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. It's a professional, worry-free process, and they deliver what they promise. CertaPro Painters.
Mark Cox here. Join me and Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. We'll be joined by Annie Frey and Mark Reardon Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Did you know there are innovative financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from losses? Are you concerned how all the market volatility is affecting your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k or company plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect that retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, March 22nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Whoever said the more the merrier sure wasn't in charge of hiring new employees, because the more unqualified candidates you have for a job, the more difficult your hiring can be. And that can make the process, well, not so merry for you. Thankfully, there's ZipRecruiter, which you can try right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology finds the right candidates for your job. But unlike other sites, ZipRecruiter goes deeper. ZipRecruiter matches people with people, and you can personally invite your top choices to apply, because the perfect hire is more than a list of qualifications. It's an individual. ZipRecruiter makes hiring the right person easy, and that'll keep you and everyone else very merry.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's right, free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Tune into the Dell Walmsley Radio Show. Dell, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Dell Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and dependable traffic, driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
This is baseball playing music right here. I like it. Did you see Adam Wainwright's song last night that he put out on Twitter?
I saw him playing something.
First of all, dude can sing.
Sure, I think about you now and then.
This is really good. I'd listen to his album.
But it's been a long, long time. I've got a good life now. I moved on. So when you cross my mind,
And he dedicated it to Major League Baseball.
try not to think about what it might have been.
This is so good.
Because that was then. And we have taken different roads. We can't go back again. There's no use giving in. There's no way to know what might have been.
Did he, like any other normal mortal, record that 42 times until he got a version that good? Or was he like, hey, give me my guitar, and he sits down in his living room and plays and sings like that?
Oh, if I had to take a guess, Adam Wainwright, he's just sitting down doing it.
I know. I think so too.
He doesn't care. That's this generation's "You're in My Heart" by Rod Stewart.
Oh, I was going to say Phil Collins from Tarzan.
Nope. But do you know the reference? "You're in My Heart" is actually about soccer. So if he's writing that one about baseball, could catch.
What's the
catch.
Rod Stewart? You said?
Yeah.
I don't
You're
even
in
know.
my heart, you're in my soul.
Oh yeah, it is a good song. I think that the Tarzan soundtrack is a very good soundtrack. Like, I would joke about that, but that Phil Collins album is really actually very
No, you're not alone in that. I know a lot of people love that album.
great lullaby too for the kiddos. I'm really excited to think that baseball is good. Like, we've kind of gone on this whole roller coaster ride just through the show today, and to know that baseball is potentially back here is going to be, I think, a distraction that a lot of people need. And I am excited to see the rapid pace with which business of baseball is going to ensue here, like now.
Yeah.
The AP is reporting that it is officially happened. Like Steve's report to us is sources say blah, 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 blah. And I was reading as we were talking with him, tweets of people saying sources say, reports are. And I'm like, stop saying that. Report it.
Yeah. Well,
be it.
As far as sources go, you're not going to get too much closer than KMOX that has, contracts with Major League Baseball and things. So I knew that was pretty much in the bag if they're willing to say it.
Well, Steve was the one who was parsing it. So.
Yeah. I'm more excited about baseball than I thought I'd be. I usually at this time, I'm in the last couple of years anyway, not that excited about it, but this is good. I'm kind of excited.
I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that it's just some kind of good news.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
When was the last time something really good happened? Like if we were tuning into the news and there was an announced ceasefire, that would feel really good inside. But we don't talk about things other than if you're watching the news, it is nonstop Ukraine, Russia, as it should be. Every once in a while, there's something that trickles in here and trickles in there. And like I've said before, if you're trying to take the temperature of how serious it is at any given moment, wait and see if they're running commercials. If they're not running any commercials, then that means there's something that's very serious taking place, transpiring in that very moment. But it's very heavy and it's every day. And when you step away from that and you go about living your normal life and you go pick up groceries on the way home from work, or you fill up your tank on the way to work or whatever it is, or you grab a coffee, or you basically just go live your normal life, you're reminded every time you turn around that stuff right now is not normal. And the report that we got, the inflation report that we got today, that says that inflation is at 7.9%, higher than it's been since 1982. So this is the high it's been in my lifetime. And to know that report is based on statistics and information that was collected before Russia invaded Ukraine. Gee whiz, hold on tight. This is going to be a white knuckle experience for the unforeseeable time to come. It's not really a happy time to just like be existing. So you need a distraction.
Two things. One, it's being so cold today and hearing about baseball starting tomorrow. I think literally they're going to start reporting to camp tomorrow. It feels like all of a sudden it's spring. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that it's fun. 2, the inflation comment. Again, and we talked, I think it was with Stewie about this when he was in the studio. If it doesn't start to go down in April, we're in trouble. Because April last year, it's always compared to the year before. April last year is when it really started to rise. So if you don't see the numbers start to decline a little bit, at least by April, we're in trouble.
This is really interesting. Ken Rosenthal regarding baseball situation. Ken Rosenthal tweets, executive subcommittee voted 8-0 against the deal. And the teams voted 26-4 in favor. The dissenting teams, the New York Mets, the New York Yankees, Houston Astros, and the St. Louis Cardinals.
No kidding. Wow.
I'm not surprised.
Why?
Because the Cardinals, apparently the Cardinals and DeWitt are like movers and shakers in there. Like they are big deals. And so if they didn't like the deal,
I understand that they're big deals, but they're like big deals among big deals.
Right.
So are they like the big deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why would they dissent?
They didn't like something about the deal. I'm not sure exactly I don't know what the all the details are, but
just make them up. That's what everybody
okay.
else
They probably didn't like the bigger bases.
I disagree. They wanted bigger bases.
The bigger bases in the outfield.
Them to be moving.
They wanted to be moving and bigger than
they wanted 2 DHs so they could bring Albert Pujols in and have a for real DH.
Yeah, and make LA pay for it.
A lineup that's 10 or 11 long instead of 9.
Yeah,
for the Cardinals.
Yeah, just for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They want to be able to move the wall in when he comes up to bat. So he reaches that 700 home run plateau.
Well, if you tweet it out, it's fact.
Yeah.
What if
I'll
the
check my
base is
sources.
just like whoop, disappeared into the ground and then popped up
That
somewhere
would be fun
randomly
if each manager got 1 base disappearance per game.
Like
here, he's rounding second. No, he's not. He's got to go back to first.
Where's the base gonna be? Yeah, and it's definitely what the Cardinals were dissenting about.
We need to make baseball more like Rock Jocks, the old video games where it was like all robots and they were just smashing things.
Well, do you know what Rock Jocks is? I know what Jock Jams is.
I remember Mutant League
Jock
football and Mutant League baseball where they would.
What?
It was something like that.
But it was, yeah.
I have another fun game that should exist. It should be on the news. There should be a specific time and it should be a news interview and it's Bill Barr or Bill Burr, but you don't know who it's going to be.
Is it all audio?
No.
So you don't know which one's which?
Like you have both of them on a screen and it's like the dating game. You just don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, it's like blind dating.
Yeah. But you have to preset your questions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who it is.
I'd watch that.
I would totally watch that.
35 episodes.
Yeah.
Of Bill Barr versus Bill Burr. And it is a dating show. I'd watch that.
Okay, Brian.
No, not between the two of them.
Right, Ryan.
The girl, it's like The Bachelor.
Which one would you date?
One.
I don't think that there's
Ryan, which one would you date?
Bill Burr, obviously.
You heard it here first.
You baited me into that.
You like to laugh.
Yeah. Bill Barr is a
makes me
pretty
laugh.
funny guy, though.
He's the least funny person. I always just really thought that I was so high on Bill Barr. I thought he was the guy. And I don't really know that he's not the guy. I know that like super Trumper people feel like he abandoned the president. But I've been consistent. I've interviewed lots of people who constitutionally looked at what was possible to do in the wake of post-election questions that people had. And they were very consistent. And Bill Barr was very consistent saying, like he's saying right now on Fox News that the integrity of the election is critical. The best thing Bill Barr did was appoint a special counsel to investigate the Russian situation. And Durham's still going. And I really do believe that probe. I wonder if the Durham investigation, if the timeline is going to purposely coincide with the election cycle at all, because I feel like it's not. I feel like it's kind of existed outside of the political landscape as much as people would like for it to exist within it and manipulate it. There are no leaks. There is a story that pops up here and there, but people are it seems that nobody is really covering it because they don't have enough information to spin it the way they want to spin it. So it's kind of untouched. But, is Hillary Clinton going to end up in an orange jumpsuit in a jail cell? I don't I'm not like requiring that for my existence to continue on the face of the planet, but I do think that we're going to find some stuff out because of that, and that is Bill Barr's doing. And I'm very invested in it.
He has said for sure that there was spying in the 2016 election. He said it in 2019. That's why he appointed Durham. So he's done.
Not specifically in the 2016 election. It was specific to the Donald Trump campaign and the Donald Trump White House post-election. I mean, it was not about the election. It was about Trump. And it was not about trying to pull Trump out of the situation because people were afraid of what would happen if he got elected. It was because Hillary wanted to get elected. Hillary paid for all of this and prioritized herself over everything that this country holds dear so she could become the president of the United States. It's treasonous. I'm just going to say that.
I wonder what happens if Bill Barr sees Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, if that changes his
I'm
mind.
sure he will. It's not going to change his mind. I'm sure he knows the things that.
Well, I mean, Dinesh is just from watching the trailer. I'm like, man, there is some irrefutable stuff just in that trailer. But would it overturn things? Don't know. That's why I'm so excited to see that thing.
For the record, for the Annie Frey Show, nothing is going to be overturned.
I'm not saying that.
Well, but you said overturned, and I just want to clarify. There's like the idea of decertifying, that's not a thing. The idea of overturning is not a thing. The idea of people doing illegal things and getting the consequences that they deserve, very much a thing. And I can't wait to see what the Durham investigation investigates. And what the Durham investigation is looking into is not even any of that. So that's like a whole different ball of wax. What does that mean? Where's the ball of wax?
Usually it's in my ears about every 6 months. Yeah, I apologize for that, but it is the truth. And
you want to know the latest gross thing I ordered because I have a baby?
I don't know.
You know what the nose Frida is?
Nose Frito?
Frida.
Oh no.
You ordered that?
Nose.
You ordered a Frito that you can
nose
taste in your
Frito
nose?
is totally a different thing. The nose Frida is a tube that you stick in the nostril of the baby, and it's got a tube. There's a filter in there.
Yeah.
A tube that you put in your mouth and you suck out the snot.
We had one.
I love my kids, but I don't love them that much.
But you just ordered it.
No, that's not what I ordered.
Oh, okay.
We have one of those. Jared does that. It's the worst thing ever.
It's gross.
It's the most.
You don't suck it into your mouth. You suck it into a little tube.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's so gross.
It's the most horrifying thing ever. We ordered, made by Nose Frida, a picker. And it's for picking your baby's nose. And it also says you can pick like in their ears and stuff.
What is it? Just tweezers?
It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a YouTube short on it.
Tweezers that were twice as
I
expensive.
mean, your kid will have all these boogers in their nose and you're like, gosh, what do I do? You can't like dig in there. Their nostrils are too small.
Yeah, your fingers are too big.
If that wasn't enough birth control for you, then I don't know. Stick around for the Margaret Show.
Wait, what?
I don't understand that at all. Ryan, why'd you make me say that? No, seriously. 97.1, Mark Reardon, right here. Don't go away.
Hey, Bulls fans in Illinois, if you want to bet basketball, get in the game with an assist from FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the Chicago Bulls and the NBA. Mobile registration is back, and you can sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account from the comfort of your couch. Right now, new customers in Illinois can tip things off with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. I've loved FanDuel. They have the best odds, daily promotions, quick payouts as well. Just sign up online or with the Sportsbook app. Place your first bet. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit if you don't win. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using the promo code MARK to get started with your risk-free first bet up to $1,000. Again, that's the promo code MARK. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 FM Talk. 21 plus